Stocks relatively unchanged to get going here this morning, ahead of more economic data to come, more important Fed speak, I guess, to come as well throughout the next couple of days. We, of course, will wrap the week up with Fed Chair Powell at Jackson Hole coming up on Friday. Retail earnings in full swing here. We get Home Depot to the downside 2 quarters in a row so far for Home Depot on the miss side of the column. Tesla with a new Model Y. We'll talk about that. The Model Y L. I saw a lot of opinions this morning from people on what the L stands for, but I have some opinions myself. The market overall not really doing much, chopping around here, 0.1%. We're back to the upside for Tesla, though. Big day yesterday, basically erasing what happened back on Friday. We're taking out the highs right now. The Model Y L coming to China, $47,000. What does the L stand for?
I don't know, long, because they're adding a third. I'm just guessing, Brendo. I'm just guessing. Or
I think it was like the early 2000s. There was a BMW 7 Series that was like the 745L, and it was like 37 feet long, and so that's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Chinese really like that third seat there. You can see it with some of the models they released, so it makes sense for Tesla to drop that. There's a lot to talk about today, Brendo. Definitely. There's a whole bunch of PANW reporting after the bell, well received. We'll talk about that. Nvidia, yes, another China-specific chip, not the H20 this time. The B30, we'll get more to that, built on the B300 architecture. ETH taking a bit of a dive. Novo and Nordisk, not a bad look here, up 1 1/3, getting approved in Canada, their drug. XPEV also reporting deliveries, Brendo, and wow, year-over-year numbers are ridiculous. And Viking Therapeutics, VKTX, down almost 34% on the oral GLP-1 drug.
You had some opinions on this one. If you zoom out a long way, it actually is coming into decent levels here for VKTX, if anyone is hearing that name for the first time. Intel, very interesting here for SoftBank, $2 billion in investment coming through. Huge pop after the close yesterday. We're getting a little bit of follow through here so far this morning, back above $25. The headlines keep coming, guys, for INTC. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. The headlines keep coming. The work keeps getting done.
Randy's here today.
He's up in the house. The L stands for large or long. Look, Intel. Okay, so the government.
Yeah, another one there.
Yeah, maybe the government, but certainly SoftBank, right? So they take a stake, which works out. I mean, ultimately, we'll see if this ends up. I still think the U.S. government seems to be mulling this, and now the talk would be like where they get the money from. It could come from the CHIPS Act money. But the more important thing is the stock seems to have bottomed out a little bit here. Hey, what's up, Randy? Good to see you back, brother. And you brought the cool with you.
What are you guys doing today over there?
Cutting pipe and painting and stuff. Yeah, Rob said stuff.
Painting and stuff?
What are we painting?
And all other duties assigned. The pipe. Brackets.
All other duties
pieces,
as assigned.
Oh, yeah, the brackets.
Stuff. The L. Yeah, it's long wheelbase. As Brendan and Sharif said, it's old news. I mean, they've been doing this since the late 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks. We'll talk to Randy about maybe about Tesla a little bit there. But yeah, SoftBank taking that stake now in Intel. I don't know. I see Copy Cares asking me if I'm going to go long. I don't have this written down on my list today. I don't know. This doesn't correct any problems with Intel. I mean, it's obviously going to give them a base now, so almost like an investor, like partner in crime now, because taking 2% is quite large amount there. 2% in the company for SoftBank, and then the 10% that your U.S. government is taking. Apparently, that hasn't been even confirmed yet from Bloomberg. But yeah, $23 each is where they're coming in at here, SoftBank. So they're just an investor like you or I. I mean, right now, Intel, it's just getting to me. It's a nice boost up here. I don't know if it, like I said, like what really problems does this solve? They still have demand. I heard Sharif and Obi talking about, the demand of their product, where they are, the PC game versus the, the nanometers and all this kind of stuff. They're just behind, but you're right here at like a really good level again. So I feel like the stove is hot and it keeps coming up here and I don't get out and then it just whaps down again. So I don't know. I'm thinking this is probably a decent spot to get out. I mean, we're long 19 and change, so it's fine. But yeah, right now up to $25, 2%, fifth largest shareholder right now. Yeah, it gives them a little bit of capital here, I guess. But everything helps.
The government stake is better
than not.
If you think about it, though, the government stake, regardless of what you think about it politically, is a better catalyst because, as you said, if you have concerns about you don't have a major customer for your fab business and that's what you want to gain, well, I would imagine that if the government had a 10% stake, a little bit easier to get companies on board as customers, which are already trying to be in the good graces of the government. So I think ultimately that being firmed up would be a bigger deal, in my opinion, than this. But last time it gapped up, it gave a dip buy. It gave a dip buy after in the morning, and that was your trade. Like you got one dip buy in like pre-market lows, and then that's what you're looking for. So I'm looking for it into the prior high. Anytime you have a prior high and a close price aligning like this at 24.5, like I'll look there, and then every 50 penny level underneath was a big one, 24.5, 23.5. So it's on the radar. It's going to do volume today. It's done 6.6 million already pre-market, depending on when you turn it on, maybe close to 7 million. So yeah, it's definitely going to be in volume today. And worth noting for the other chips, it's an Nvidia up in AMD down kind of day. I mean, Nvidia's not up much, but the fact that it is at least up when AMD's down over a point. So those two aren't really correlating either.
Just SoftBank, remember they have ARM, which was part of Intel as well at one point, and then so now SoftBank's just getting involved in this global chip race, I guess, here with Intel. The only exciting thing to me is like what Neil was saying there about the U.S. ownership is that like maybe now you can get an announcement, like once the U.S. takes a stake in it, couldn't Trump then like release that Stargate initiative again? That was supposed to be like $500 billion towards different companies to help sort of boon this whole AI frenzy. So maybe Intel is awarded magically,
it's possible,
certain funding or abilities that others aren't, due to the fact that now they've got Japan, SoftBank on board, and now they have the United States on board. So yeah, I think it should be exciting for Intel. Up 6% seems pretty good to me. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the one buying it in the pre-market, but others are, and it's holding. So who am I to say the stock is going down? It's just from a technical level, I think it's going down because it's at those levels. But we'll wait to see. That's why it's not on my board here today early. Palo Alto, we've talked about this one. We bought this one on the dip. We said that we were going to do that. We did it. And yeah, it's nice. It's a nice move higher. Shreve asked me if I was like happy with the dip buy. Yeah, I mean, but again, we talked about trying to buy the best names, and it's been hit. Like, it was already down here, you know what I mean? So it's like, now we're just trying to get back to where its home is anyways, in this 200, north of 200 area. So yeah, good little buy there in PANW. And of course, we were talking with Neil about the ETF, and when you buy the ETF, it's a little bit safer, but you buy the stock, you get a little bit more of a bump there, and you take the risk of the single stock. But yeah, 16% year over year revenue, adjusted EPS 27% year over year. So looks like the cybersecurity area and space is working. I'm still an investor only in these two names, CrowdStrike and Palo Alto, but I haven't done anything since CrowdStrike since that huge move down. So CrowdStrike is well traded, but look at that, from 515 all the way down to 430. I think with Palo Alto now sort of solidifying their quarter, we can probably get back on this bandwagon with CrowdStrike. So I would think this could also be not a horrible buy. I might actually buy some CrowdStrike today, to be honest with you, add some more to the portfolio, just whatever. Dollar cost average up on this name. I mean, I like them all, and Zscaler's another name that's been pumping.
Yeah, it's done pretty
or can go up. I mean, they have the CyberArk deal with PANW, so we'll have to wait to see how that all pans out. And then,
it's a big deal. That'll take a while to close.
Yeah, and $25 billion.
It's a huge deal.
That's,
it's not chump change.
Anyways, they were talking about it, how it was an offensive deal, not a defensive one. So they're trying to attack, just like Palantir style.
Wake up.
We'll wait to see what happens with Palo Alto. But yeah, all right. I've got Tesla on here so far, so we'll watch some Tesla.
Tesla's strong.
Tesla just bumped up like crazy. It just took out the level I want.
Yeah, that 36 level just got taken out.
yeah. So
It's
they're
come back. But it took it out yesterday and kind of came back.
Yeah, I'm not. This was for me the level 36 here for Tesla. So it's the only thing I've written down. I have Tesla go long at 336. It's breaking right now, but that's okay. Like Neil said, I was also writing down in the fact that the market once again is only 0.1. Either direction, it doesn't really matter. ES flat, Nasdaq flat to start the day. So yesterday was a pretty flat day. You had to find opportunities throughout. And by the way, yesterday our long of open door, our short of open door, sorry. Not today. We were short yesterday ahead of $4, and that printed out real well for us as we got short right there, right off the open. We got short, then we averaged it up because our out was always $4, and then it came back in, and we were able to make money on this trade, obviously, as it just sort of barcoded down there. And we got many outs down here when we realized that might have been the bottom, and then today, open door, already 30 million shares, and we should have thought something. I mean, it was easy to think something was going to happen. It's just it happening now. So barcode, sort of back and forth, trying to find its breaking spot, and there you go, upside another 9% for open door, man. Maybe this does have some Carvana blood in it here, and wants to just keep on going, man. It's got some kind of bump to it. So.
The thing that was crazy about that one was that I know we had Michael on it. He had this chart, Michael Noss. He had a chart showing where shorts started increasing on open door, and really when it started on the daily, it was not where you would have expected when you looked at the chart. Like there was a lot of increase in short selling underneath $1, which is wild because usually you think, like your brain just tells you, well, a chart like this, short sellers are loading up when it starts making these moves. So they probably start getting long in the 2s and then they're adding in 3 and 4. Not that they were loading up when it was under $1. So some unwind probably happened, but you got to imagine even some new shorts coming in. This hasn't really taken too much of a break, open door. So yeah, we got the 13F from Tudor, and we'll see how far this one can fly. Like 375.
Did he say anything about open door? Did he say that he liked the long or the short or what?
No, I didn't even. I
didn't pay attention. Yeah.
No, to me, at the end of the day, like sometimes I'll read a short seller report. Sometimes I'll read an analyst report. 99% of the time, it's because I'm involved in the stock. Like from a long-term aspect, like okay, well maybe they see something I don't.
Yeah.
But for like a squeeze play or something like that, I care more about the price action anyways, and I never want to get in my head, oh, this is what I think of it. I think they're right. I think this person's right, or I think that person's wrong. And the next thing you know, I'm ignoring the price action because I'm suddenly agreeing with some fundamentals. When I'm not really ever looking at it for the fundamentals.
But what did Michael say? Do you remember?
Oh, Michael Nutt.
Yeah, not you.
I thought you meant.
No.
Tudor.
No. What? Because you mentioned that Michael was mentioning. Did he mention anything about?
No, I don't think he had a.
Okay.
I don't think he had a position. It's just it was a metric he had in his chart that I'd never seen before, where you could look at a name and see where the increases and decreases in short flow was. And it's something I had never seen. And when he showed it to me on this chart, because I was like, well, we were talking about small cappers, and then he threw it up, and I'm like, that's not what I would expect when I look at this, because the biggest volume was, sort of in this 2 to 3 range on that spike, and so you tend to think that's where shorts are increasing, but no, it ended up being somewhere down here, which seems counterintuitive, but that's what it is. I do believe. We do have our good friend Mitch is going to be locked and loaded and ready to go. It's been a minute, so let's get on up to the desk.
Hey, it's Sharif.
Hey, how's it going, Mitch?
We'll get Mitch in a second here. I just want to mention this one, PRFX, little one just popping up here. Quick double up on this, went not quite, all the way to 340 anyways. For PRFX picking up Layer Bio, so no amount was disclosed in this deal, but pain reform, 1.8 million share float on this. It's 8% short, so not huge, but might get a little bit of attention here.
Yeah, I'm looking already at it, Brendo. It's already made the side chart over here. We're going to keep an eye on this one. For me, it's just got to hold the volume weighted average price. Already losing it here, dropping below that 283 level. So hopefully this one's holding in the midday.
We will see if we can get some attention on some of these small caps once again today. Let's bring in Mitch Hoke, analyst over at Trade the Pool, for a look at some, higher flyers yesterday. All right. Happy Tuesday, Mitch, first of all. Is there an underlying message here?
DraftKings, baby. DraftKings. Have you seen that move?
I was wondering where you were going with that
yesterday.
I was wondering.
That's a seasonal trade. Get it every year, man. It might as well just pay me a jersey. You know, you want a jersey every year?
Yeah,
Just
done.
wait for DraftKings to run in August. It's usually after the first couple preseason games. You know, everyone's getting their fantasy football things going, and they just start looking at gambling. And for some reason, the stock has a tendency of running by the rumor, and then by the time it's opening game, sell the news.
We touched on it last week. I was just double checking on that. Yeah, it's all the way back down, but a little. Yeah, I mean a huge run up yesterday for DKNG. Past couple of days, anyways. We touched on that going back to last
RSI is another fast name. If you want a speculative name, just to add a little bonus, RSI, Rush Street Interactive.
There you go. Defense. Let's shift gears here. Defense has been on, I think, everyone's top of mind going back to last Friday after this meeting with the U.S. and Russia, and then the follow-through that we got yesterday. More headlines even coming out this morning here. You had a couple of interesting ideas here in the defense group. Talk about RCAT.
Yeah, so RCAT, this is a classic setup. One of the things that I like right now, and this is what I think you got to really be watching, is are your stocks consolidating to go higher, and did they just get a nice little volume boost, right? Some stocks, momentum names have broken down, so you got to be careful. I've been a little bit careful in the nuclear space. I'm still have a swing right now in SMR, but I'm looking for plays like this where it's kind of setting up. It's been a long-term pattern, more on the weekly pattern, that it's holding this $8 support. So now if RCAT can get back above 950 and start to push 10, that's where you start to see the lift. Of course, one of the things that I'm looking for is more talk in Congress about drones. So look for more things coming out of that. And that can be the driver. RCAT could be another play, but UMAC right now I think has a better setup. Also, if you look at that one has a nice same looking kind of support right underneath it around the 950. That one's already breaking 10. If it gets to 11, 13s could be in play. They're both looking like the same thing, so you can keep eyes on one of them and just set an alert. When they starts to spike, watch for the other to start following.
All right, on the AI front, one we've touched on this show many times, APLD, big day yesterday. Where are we going today? Looks like downside right now.
Guys, this has been as good as a name as I can get. I've traded this, day traded it, swing traded it. We talked about this name recently at 11. It popped to 14. It came back towards 11. Was looking for that to be the driver again, and now it's 16. And it's in the perfect space, data center. That's what you're going to be seeing more and more of. This is now driving, plus it has high short interest. That's a common theme of driving stocks right now that we're seeing today. Of course, still got to play on right now and open. That's why you see me peeking over here. Open Door, another high flyer. These are the names that you want to have right now. The high short interest, for some reason, it's got the interest of retail traders, that's for sure.
Mitch, it's 8:47, just FYI. It's a long way until the open still. I mean, there's liquidity, obviously.
Of course, like always, guys, and we'll see if we get above that. I mean, I've been watching open for a while now. This is also running with Zillow, and this has to do with rate cuts also. So it has like the added factors, right? So it's not just one hype. It's not just short interest. It's also if we get rate cuts, then open seems a lot better. Zillow has been going up, and I don't think anybody's thinking that the housing market's just going to rip out, but Zillow's been holding up here above 80s, and it could start to push. You're seeing Rocket Mortgage do well. I mean, guys, it's an interesting space there, but I'd keep an eye out on names like this.
It looks like we'll get, or hopefully we'll get some more context as far as interest rates are concerned coming up before the end of the week here. Intel, let's, I mean, a couple of headlines here as far as the big chip names are concerned, Nvidia and Intel, the bigger one here. What do you make of both INTC and Nvidia today?
Yeah, I was talking about it last week, how we were looking at MP, and MP was the first time that the U.S. really started to take this different approach, kind of more of a China approach, of really taking more stake into companies and like getting into companies. And then what do we see? Now they want in on Intel. This is kind of an adjustment I think that Trump's trying to do here to really kind of push the growth, right? So I'm looking at this as a good driver. I'm thinking that he's going to be not only do this on Intel, he could be looking at different places to kind of continue driving and investing US dollars in. I think this could really start to drive. This could change Intel. You really need something to change Intel, and maybe Trump could be that person. Of course, investments by SoftBank and things like that are definitely going to help. They do need to do a big write-off, though, if I'm, to be aligned with the news and the catalyst out there. I know they were thinking about doing this big write-off, so be careful for the next quarter to be that write-off. But for right now, let's ride this momentum and see if we start to break the 25.
All right, and then for Nvidia, yet another attempt to get a chip into China legally, I guess is the best way to put it at this point.
The back doors, man.
Many back doors.
Yeah.
Lots of movement yesterday, both directions for Nvidia. What are you seeing today?
Yeah, I was looking at even AMD yesterday. Both of these, I was seeing Nvidia driving. I was wondering if these names were going to lead the next rally. I'm starting to see them that they might have a little bit of a pullback here. And this is just also seasonality. You know what stocks are kind of coming into earnings right now. You get your retail names to earnings, like Home Depot didn't do that well, right? I think that this is the time where we could have a little bit of some shake and a little bit of some pullback on these names. I'm looking for pullbacks to get back in. But are these the names that I want right now? Probably not, guys. So I'm looking elsewhere. I'm trying to go with the momentum right now. And this is as big as a stock picker's environment as it's ever been.
As far as, let's get focused here. As far as you had some of the financials, we touched on some of the payment names specifically. Give me your top one or two here going towards the open this morning.
SoFi, I brought it up last week. We were right there on the move looking for a break above the 23s. We got that same day up there to 23.73s. Now we're looking for the break of 25. This is one name that could get the real drive, right? It has the backing. It has the cult-like following. Let's see if this really starts to kick off, guys, and starts to take that next level.
All right, we are counting down the days. Our friends at Trade the Pool are going to be in studio coming up here first couple of weeks of October. So if anybody has any
get ready
questions,
if you had any question, what you know how there's always the haters. Get ready, haters.
I mean, this guy's going to be sitting right here.
I'm ready to go. You guys will see it live, baby. We're ready to get after it. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm coming prepared. I'm going to be swing trading. We'll have swing positions. We'll do some day trading. We'll do it all. And right there in front of you guys, I'm ready, guys.
It's going to be the Mitch Hoke show. I think it's the 13th, October 13th. A couple of weeks.
Well, Brendan, if you need the day off, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
There's only 3 seats here, so I don't know, man. We might need to give up one or two.
We're going on all the shows. We're not going on one show. We're going on all of them.
The Trade the Pool takeover. Good to see you, Mitch, as always.
All right, take care, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Mitch.
I'm just looking to book off. I'm going to book off October 13th, so Mitch can just sit here.
In our calendar, it's the 14th. I don't know.
Oh, the 14th. Okay. Well, I'll wait to take the day off.
We'll get that confirmed. We have a calendar to keep track of that stuff, so I usually trust the calendar as carte blanche. But whatever it happens to be,
exciting. Hey, Mitch. Oh, Mitch, there he is. What's up? Yeah,
Henry.
Is that a Derrick Henry?
Playoff baseball. I wish we had playoff baseball. I wish the Jays could at least make it or something, but.
Whoa.
The Jays are the number one team.
The number one team in the American League right now. We are going to the playoffs.
The Jays are Nvidia.
Mitch.
Hey,
I will
buy the tickets. We're going if they're there. It's going to be October time. I mean,
it is. It's time.
The Jays are going to be in the playoffs.
It's time.
Yeah.
Mitch, we'll hold you to that baseball game, man. We'll hold that to you if you're coming down.
And we're going to the batting cages. You guys got to see me hit some bombs. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh, word?
Okay. I feel like you're more of like an Ichiro guy, just hitting the singles everywhere, but you're going to be hitting
you're going to have to see it for yourself, man. Okay. Bring the cameras. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Okay, we'll bring
the paparazzi, man. Follow Mitch around town. All right, well, great to see you. Thanks for all the energy that you bring, Mitch. And yeah, we're looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, mid-October.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, look, we talked football fan, baseball fan.
If the Jays will be in the playoffs.
He'll fit around here. I actually wonder if he wasn't sure about the Blue Jays there, but I'm sure now he'll look it up.
We're the best team in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying. We're in the playoffs.
I know if we are.
It would take an abject disaster to somehow not make the playoffs. Okay, we have the best record.
I'd like to think we're the best team, but
yeah. Well, it's true. Just because you have the best record doesn't mean you are the best team. Like we have a better record than the Dodgers. I wouldn't say the Jays are a better team. I wouldn't say anybody.
7-game series, you would think that the Dodgers
7-game series
would be favored there for sure. But that would be really nice to get that opportunity. There, Vlad faced Skeens for the very first time yesterday. We lost the game, but at least it was
Vlad left
pretty competitive. Oh, did he? We were out. We were at hockey again last night. Like
he did the splits a couple times to dig out a ball.
Why does he always do that, man? Yeah, okay. So now he has a groin problem?
He doesn't have, it was a hamstring.
Okay.
But he said it might be minor. He has a tendency to sometimes do the splits at first base when I'm not entirely sure he needs to. But that's neither here nor there. I love his energy. Hopefully he's not hurt too bad because that wouldn't be very good for us. But one of the names that Mitch mentioned is on my radar. Remember SoFi was really strong yesterday? Well, it was. Maybe you don't remember. Maybe you didn't look at it. I have
no.
But yeah, like it's the last time it was up here, it failed abjectly at this level, 24.25 to 24.50. And there's no question about it. Like it was a clean dollar drop right at the open. This is the second time through. Can it take out that 24.5 high? I mean, like all breakouts, we could sit here and it never happens. That's happens all the time. But that's what I'm looking for today. Like not waiting for 25. 25 even is obviously a big level, no question. But I'd rather just take the break going into 25. And if it loses that quarter, don't fight it because it dropped $1 when it failed this level the last time. But SoFi, Robinhood as well. Like, I mean, it was a bunch of fintech names that were very strong, relatively speaking, yesterday. Robinhood also pressing back into its highs like a stone's throw away. I'm picking SoFi, and we'll see if we get that breakout to the $0.50.
Yeah, no problem there, AK. Yeah, get part of our chat first of all immediately. We there's been some fun things about Mitch, some fun things about everything in here. Thank you to A Khalid here. Great AMD trade yesterday. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, hopefully we can do something like that today. But all these trades, start with an idea, right? And you can scan our you can scan that QR code too from Trade the Pool, but we have a link in description. Go check it out. Everything you need to know about all the names that we're going to be talking about. Ethereum down again today, another 1.3%. We'll be talking about that pretty shortly. $36 high under 32, coming into possible support areas here around 28 to 30. So we'll watch out. It's not going to hit that today, but we're going to watch out for some plays like that. Thank you for the kind words, and we'll see if we can get another trade for you guys today, right? I mean, we're looking at Tesla, the market, looking at some SoFi, and yeah, we'll get it all figured out. A little bit of a slow day, I would think, but now you're down 0.2 in the Nasdaq. Maybe things finally starting to pick up just a bit right there. And then Neil already looked at Robinhood. The other ones, I mean, JP Morgan, all the financials seem to be fine right here. They're just trying to deal with. I mean, JP Morgan, because I own it, I've been watching it. It hasn't broken that 300, so I'm kind of waiting to get out if around there. I still have my offer at 303. That never came through. It actually got as high as like 302.25 or something. But anyways, at end of the day, we're looking for a break here on JP Morgan as well, but that's not until 296. So we've got some ways to go on that one. BAC, a little bit of a lighter price tag on it of just $50. So this could be another good break there of that $50 level if that can come through. So I think all the banks are also getting ready to make a move, which is why SoFi on our mind. So yeah, that's that. Okay, let's go back over to the desk and we'll start the rundown and see what Shreef's maybe talking about with the market.
Yeah, we'll get to the market overall just real quick. I saw a couple people mentioning this. Let's recap some numbers that came out here at 8:30 this morning. Not anything significant, but definitely better than expected for building permits and housing starts today. 1.35 million versus 1.39, 1.42, higher than expected for July on the housing starts number versus 1.29 million. That's really it as far as anything significant today. Fed's Bowman coming up at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Just keep that in mind. The big event, though, obviously Jackson Hole starting on Thursday. And then Friday, we'll hear from Fed Chair Powell from Jackson Hole. So the market in a bit of a holding pattern here until then, I think.
That housing starts number is interesting, Breno, because I was doing my ETF review and the home building ETFs like breaking out. So
building.
Yeah, the home building.
They're building.
Home builders ETF, yeah. All right, guys, 64.88. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. We're below that level right now, though, guys, with the overnight high being 64.77. So it feels like we're kind of locked in here into a tight range with that 64.50 still acting as support. In fact, the overnight low is 64.54. So we'll continue this to 50-point area as support to the high side. If we get above 77, which is the overnight high, we're looking again at 6,500, Brendo, as a resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you take a sec, jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to that page. Then all you need is your email address, and you can have the watch list. It's absolutely free. Every single day has everything that's moving around in the pre-market on it, and a little bit on why. Intel, top of the list so far this morning, as it should be. Big move After the close, I mean, we're kind of chopping around here so far this morning. Just retook $25, which is good to see. Whether or not we can hold on to that remains to be seen. But Scott Bessent making some comments on this, essentially saying it would be a conversion of grants and the possibility to increase in the future, increase the size, obviously, in the future to help stabilize this.
Interesting. That's the first I'm seeing of that comment. That's really interesting, Brendo. So this is a good look for Intel, especially if you're a shareholder. So SoftBank will invest, as Brendo mentioned, $2 billion in Intel. The purchasing price is $23 a share, just below Monday's close of $23.66. The stake equals about 2% of all of Intel's outstanding shares, so that makes SoftBank the 5th largest shareholder that is, of Intel. So good look there. It's also a vote of confidence amidst struggles. So the company lost about 60% of its market value in 2024, Brendo, its worst year in over 50 years. The shares, though, have recovered a little bit, 18% up year to date in 2025, reflecting cautious optimism under the new CEO, Lip Bhutan, who took over in March. So we'll see how he does. Already some reports with him and Donald. The report suggests the U.S. government may take an equity stake in Intel as well, underscoring the strategic importance. And Lip Bhutan, that is, recently met with President Donald Trump, who had previously called for his resignation, highlighting the political scrutiny. And last but not least here, SoftBank, has built a large presence in the global supply chain. So they bought ARM, for example, in 2016. They agreed in March to buy Ampere Computing. And they also play a central role in AI infrastructure. We know that they have that deal with OpenAI and Oracle. I think they're calling it Stargate or whatever. So fully ensconced in AI.
Yeah, from a technical standpoint, if you zoom out long enough, we've been stuck in this range, 26.25, guys, the top. I mentioned the key level, 26.25, the top here since last July. So is this finally what gets it out of this box?
Well, hopefully, yes, but just now on SoFi just announced its upcoming international money transfer service that will enable members to send funds abroad directly from the SoFi app with lower fees and faster delivery compared to traditional remittance service providers. That's their quote, in case you're wondering, obviously. So SoFi ended up breaking that 24.5 literally, we were just talking about it, and then a news line happens to come in. So this is on the midst of a bit of a breakout here. Still doesn't really, if we're looking long anyways, and I think if it fails the quarter mark, then you're no good, then I'm just going to go back to that. So SoFi broke 24.50. It happened to do so in the news that we just gave you there. And I haven't seen anything else, so that looks like, that sounds like good news to me, but this was on the midst of a potential breakout anyways. As far as Intel goes, I'll firmly believe that this is SoftBank good, but a government stake is just better. SoFi just got to the 3-quarter mark. If he gets to 25, got to take some more out there as well. SoFi continue to go. But I think a government stake is more important. Confirmation of that, and I'll be more inclined to look for breakouts, because I think that could give the impetus for companies to jump in and maybe get a customer, right? Like it's not that it's government pressure. If they were to be a stakeholder. But if you're Nvidia, maybe, just maybe, you're more inclined to become a client of Intel if the US government is backing them. And that's the more important thing. They need people online so they can get some revenue. And then that gives them the reason to expand the build out, because their foundry play is taking a couple of years. I'm thinking dip buy in Intel, 24.5, and if we get through 24.5, every $0.50 underneath it has been support. 23.5 was support, 24 was support, so that's where I want to lean on Intel. It was a dip at the open when it was a potential deal announced, and that was about a 50-cent move down before it bounced. I'd look for something similar today, look for history to rhyme.
All right, I rip and I rhyme, I rhyme and I rip. Okay, so right here, exactly, Sharif's got it over there. All right, so up to $25 goes SoFi. That's making stock to start the day, so glad that Neil and I both have this. What the? Look at this. SoFi's price, $24.90. Intel's price, $24.90. Same price, different stock. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, we had that fun little talk the other day when it was AMD v Intel, Nvidia. Yeah, so right
Not
now,
anymore though.
Oh, it was going to be higher today. SoFi or Intel? I think SoFi.
SoFi.
But yeah, so I think actually Intel's coming back down. Oh, here we go. All right, Mitch. Here goes DraftKings. Apparently, just had some
Both
bad
of
news.
these?
There it
That's
goes.
hilarious.
No downside. Oh, Mitch, what's up now, Mitch? No, just playing around. I really feel like Mitch has probably been listening to Trader TV Live for a while. Everybody here knows that we're long down in the 30s, so we'll wait for that. But anyways, Intel, nice move to the downside. I feel like it's coming, and then we would want to buy it up. So we were already up 6%. We're sort of fading off that $25 mark. I think 25.10 or so. If you're going to go long, that's what you want to wait for. I wouldn't really mess around right here as it is. You know, yesterday, we wrote down the short as well for Intel yesterday, and or was it yesterday? No, it was the day. It must have been the day before, because I think the break was 24 that we were looking for. Yeah, it must have been the day before. I don't know what it was, but we weren't even trading this yesterday, and the move happened at the end of the day there. Came all the way back into that $24. Oh no, this is yesterday, right? So it was yesterday.
It was.
Okay, yeah. So there was the move down, the break of 24, right? So that's what we wanted. Instead, we had AMD, so we didn't take that trade there early. And then there's the move that I was talking about when we got announced that 10%. Now it's sort of clarified a little bit on what those terms will be. And then the market didn't really love any of that kind of talk. And then today we get SoftBank. So I kind of think the same thing again. Like, okay, that's nice. Does it solve anything? No. But it definitely gives it a little bit more life and puts it in talking consideration here again for traders like us. So I don't know. I'm all more about this right here. This just looks like a sell area for Intel. I'll probably get in there and sell half. I'm going to find out exactly after this. I'll find out how much I have, but I'm still long down into here on the same play. So it's like going long off support and selling into resistance. I didn't do it here or I forget about there. But anyways, I think I missed it these two times right in there because we were buying down into here. We missed that bump, and I don't plan on missing this one. So let's see what winds up happening today. There it is. I mean, Intel's already down 1.5% since we last looked at it, and I got to go fix the heat around here. It's freezing. So
yesterday we had it was too hot.
Yeah, yesterday was too hot. Today I'm going to go.
I didn't catch I'm still looking for the DraftKings news.
I heard something in my Robinhood launches pro and college football prediction markets.
Okay.
Robinhood launches prediction markets.
You're going to be able to do everything at Robinhood.
We know IBKR, Sharif and Joe kind of mentioned this sometimes with their mark. They do have it. So Robinhood, but Robinhood with their customer base, probably more degen. So yeah, Robinhood continues to work, man. New all-time highs, it looks like, incoming for Robinhood up near that 119 area. So yeah, Palo Alto, I think we're going to be talking about that next.
Yes.
What a great trade. Glad that everybody's in that if you are, and if you're not, still not too late.
Right at the highs right now, about to take out 188. The list of analysts with positive things to say on this report continuing to grow as well. Everything in red here positive today, which is kind of weird, but hey, that's this platform. 188, definitely a thing here so far.
Yeah, that platformization is one of their strategies, Brenda. We'll get to that in a second, but let's talk about how they did on the quarter. Q4 revenue rose 16% year over year, up to $2.54 billion, topping estimates, with adjusted EPS also jumping 27% year over year, above the consensus estimates, and it puts PANW back into positive territory after that CyberArk concerns that the company really wasn't growing. And speaking of CyberArk, that strong quarter helps ease the fears that $25 billion acquisition of CyberArk masked weakness in the core business. Management frames the deal as offensive, not defensive, aiming to add leadership in identity security ahead of the expected AI-driven inflection kind of over the next 12 to 24 months. That's what they're saying. Their AI could change cybersecurity going forward within the next year or two. Now, speaking of that platformization strategy, which is basically selling integrated security suites, continues to accelerate for the company. They recorded 1,400 platform deals in Q4, up from the 1,000 they did last year, and they're on track, Brendo, for 2,500 to 3,500 by 2030. Customers are making larger strategic commitments described as moving from a product phase into a partnership. You kind of like to hear that from the management of the company. And they had some major wins, Brendo. They had 156 customers with $5 million annual recurring revenue and 51 customers with $10 million annual recurring revenue. And they had a lot of big deals deals as well. A $111 million deal with a global consulting firm and a $61 million deal with a financial services firm.
This is a huge level, however, if you zoom out to a higher time frame. That's a weekly chart. 188, dead stuck in the middle, guys.
Yeah, well, the 200, I think it's got room to the 50 today. That's 192. It's kind of makes some logical sense to me. And in the aftermarket show, we're like, well, you got to try to hold on to this range here, 186, 187, right in here, the prior, call it a prior low before we made that recent bottom that we just put in. But I wanted to look at, the other thing I want to look at is how gorgeous the monthly chart looks here too, right? Like it's still time till the month ends, like a couple of weeks in here. But it looks as if you're putting another bottoming tail. Every single time it's had a red month, nice bottoming tail candle on the prior month and then a retest, and essentially a retest of the highs, right? So that pattern sets you up for another chance. As long as we're holding after earnings, above, like it's like 173 would be this monthly, that monthly close from last month. As long as you're above that, then that pattern holds. And I think you're looking long back into the highs on PANW. I mean, CrowdStrike's a great name, but it had outperformed my PANW. So, and I own more PANW than CrowdStrike, I said. And maybe it should have been reversed. Probably should have been. But I liked Cyber to buy before the earnings because I wanted to buy the Fortinet dip. But after, I just want the confirmation of this monthly candle that I'm good to go. As far as today goes, you know, whether or not you get a push into 192, it needs to hold that 86 to 87 area. It just cannot fail the pre-market. If it fails the pre-market low, I don't want any part of it because that's the key level on the daily chart. So, you know, it's going to have to show some buyers off the open, and it's not really doing a lot of. It's doing good volume because it's earnings, but it's not doing a ton of volume. We just had a story with SoFi, Intel's going to be in play. The chips are very much back into play, so it just couldn't top the list today.
Yeah, look. When Palo Alto fell down, we bought some of this name, and for good reasons, right? I mean, we kept on talking about how it's best of breed. So yeah, I'm long Palo Alto here. We were long. I thought we got it like around this 180 mark. So it's not like it's huge in the money, but still, we'll take that $7 or $8 now. It does dip into 170. I mean, that would have even been better, but I agree. I think we're taking out this 210, and that's probably pretty imminent right there for Palo Alto. So we always say whenever there's an outsized move, it probably will continue. So it looks like right now, Palo Alto does have a great opportunity to continue this move. When there's a gap, play to VWAP, but right now, VWAP's 187. So I think that's going to be pretty violent off the open, especially on these kind of earnings plays. So there's the 200 period, 185, and there's also some gathering there from yesterday. So I would say 185 for me on Palo Alto in play. So that would be something that we'll look at there for PANW on dip buy opportunities. So 185 for this name, or if we break out through 188.50, that's also the long that you're going to try to push through. So good market here for Palo Alto, beating on both the top and the bottom. So it's a good report. We'll see if it can hold these levels. And for me, dip buy there. If we give up 185, then you give up your trade. Otherwise, I think this is a good one today in what should be, and I already put the sticky note out here today, and I just was sort of talking very similarly to what we've been saying here on the show. I think the market futures are pretty flat, although they are starting to head down right now, so maybe we have to change that. Fed Bowman later, we got Tesla long, we got the TQ short, we've got SoFi in here. So it's we're into SoFi right now, a few other names to come, but yeah, Palo Alto, not on my radar for necessarily a day trade, but we love it as an investment. I'm not selling my shares, that's for sure.
Chinese EVs, specifically to the upside as a group, right across the board today. That's a weekly chart for XPeng starting to turn back to the upside after a nice run up to 26.5, much better than expected delivery numbers for XPeng specifically. I mean, the rest of this group as well being dragged along. We can put a bit of a Tesla spin on this also, with Tesla and this Model YL coming to China as well.
Absolutely, and Tesla's Chinese sales are recovering nicely, Brendo. They're still down year to date, but when you look quarter over quarter, month over month, week over week, we're growing. It's recovering in China. But let's talk a little XPeng. These are eye-watering numbers, Brendo. Their Q2 revenue, guys, surged 125.3% year over year, easily beating estimates. Their vehicle sales revenue jumped 147.6% 8% year over year on the quarter, driven by higher deliveries. And their gross margins hit a record, guys, 17.3%, with vehicle margins rising to 14.3%, all thanks to cost reductions and a better product mix. So good look here for XPEV. Their quarterly deliveries also soared 241.5%, up to 103,181 units. That's what they delivered on the quarter. And they have 677 stores across 224 cities. And they're also getting in the charging game, much like Tesla's supercharging. They have about 2,350 charging stations all across China, and they're doing well here. So they're still losing money, much like these EV companies mostly are. Brendo, operating loss narrowed down to 930 million yuan, showing progress towards profitability, and their adjusted EPS of negative 41 yuan beat expectations, and they ended the quarter with some money on hand, $6.64 billion cash on hand, which is important for EV companies because they're constantly adding capacity.
Yeah, the deliveries forecast, too, pretty impressive for XPeng as well, increasing again quarter over quarter for Q3 as well. Kind of stuck in the middle of the range right now, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more action for Tesla as well, guys, coming off a nice day yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against XPeng, but, probably trade Tesla, not this here today. But you can't really argue with the stability it's had. What's interesting is Tesla's also stuck in a wedge on the daily chart, just like this is. Maybe not as clean of one, but it's been going not completely sideways, but it's been converging. You could argue that, I would argue that it's actually breaking out a little bit if you were to draw like that. So it's at least a little bit more bullish. So yeah, you might have yourself a good long in here. Look, not one that I'm touching for the trade, but sometimes when you see this type of a pattern, like you see like the descending wedge and the consolidation here, like that's not a bad technical entry. If I'd been looking at it and had any interest, I probably would have, I'd nibble at something like that. That said, we're looking at Tesla. And Tesla just held yesterday the 200 period moving average, double bottomed off of that price 2 days in a row at 327. So as far as I'm concerned, the new model, that's great. But since earnings, it's really been about the price action. Like when it shows you a low, then it can go. It shows you a low, then it can go. That kind of a thing. And then it's gone all the way up to test 350, pulled back, shows a double bottom. Then I look for it to go again. So the continuation would be support here around the 330 level, obviously 327 if it gets there, and then a breakout of yesterday's high, which is until the $0.50. So I like Tesla in there today. Yeah, good on XPeng. Those are impressive numbers, but it's a tough space to be in anyways, even for like the investment, and then you throw in the China risk as well. I'd certainly trade Tesla, but not where I would throw the bet in on EV. It's like if I'm betting on a Chinese EV company, it'd be BYD still.
Rated here, XPEV, up 68% year to date, obviously outpacing many names, but at the same time, still not making any money, right? A negative EPS. It's not the right space, obviously, these EVs to come through, but it's a good number there. We talked about it, explosive top and bottom line growth, 68% year to date, 17% margin, which is nice. That's up from 14%. So I think this is a long, but I have lost a lot of interest in covering some of the Chinese names, so I haven't really been paying too much attention, not even really looking at it, but this is pretty flat. So for me right there, we're not really super excited until that 22, some kind of wall, if anything, gets broken there. I mean, you could also look over here and say, well, what about 2150? Yeah, I think that would also be a good long. I just... not excited. The chart is not blasting for me really at all. The number one trade idea that I have today is Tesla. It's here on the sticky note. You guys are asking for it. I just put it in the chat there. 336 long break, 334 support, strong Model Y sales in China. Strong whatever, I mean strong recent strength. Plus I have that robo-taxi buzz a little bit going through it now today. So I like Tesla. There's a 336 break that didn't happen. So now it's giving us even a better level now of 336.25. So even better. And then the 334 potential holding zone as well there for Tesla. A little nervous because of the way this market's going here, only downside, but I'm okay. If we do fall back into 334, might be worth a try, but that's a little close. I don't think I'm going to sit at 334 to get that bid, but let's let it fall back in and see if we do hold those bases. So I'm looking for a 34 base to hold, or this 336, now 25 to break long, 336.30 or so. Long break there on Tesla. I will be in that 100p.
Depot back to the upside here. Initial move was downside on the numbers, but we've been slowly regaining some traction here all morning long to the tune of $400 getting retaken, which is a key level for this stock. Reaffirming their full year forecast and forecast in general right across the board, a little bit better than expected. So people taking the opportunity here to pick up some.
Absolutely, and the guide was not bad, Breno. The current quarter was the issue. They missed on the top and bottom line. So EPS, Q2 EPS, that is, came in at 468. The street wanted 471. While revenue came in at 45.28 billion. The street wanted 45.36. So a miss on the top and bottom line. A bit of a tougher look there, but at least they're profitable. They brought home 4.55 billion. The net income. That can't be right there. That's 4.55 billion net income from revenue of 45. That's nearly flat year over year. It's the first time, Brendo, since 2014 that Home Depot missed on both revenue and EPS. Usually they beat on one. Anyway, here's how they're doing. Comparable sales rose 1% year over year. One of only two year-over-year gains in the last 11 quarters. Sales trends improved sequentially, and big ticket transactions rose 2.6% year over year. But here's the change in strategy. So with housing turnover and mortgage rates still weak, Home Depot's kind of leaning on the professional customer, who now accounts for 55% of their sales, compared to 45% for the do-it-yourselfer like myself, right? Tariffs and the macro environment also having an effect, at least not immediately, though. It says that new U.S. tariffs in early August will add risk, though most of the Q2 imports landed before the tariffs hit, and Home Depot has not raised prices yet, Brendo, despite the tariff changes, contrasting with peers like Walmart. Yeah,
so this was the question we were asking yesterday. Will we see it on this report? Will it be the next report where we start to see this? And it sounds like they went out of their way to make sure that they didn't even mention it for this one, guys.
True, and I don't wonder if it's more important. Look, earnings are always important, right? But it might be more important that we're getting a rate cut, and you've got even Buffett investing in the home builders as well. So like that little curve, and bottoming out, and maybe running the home builders, and again getting the rate cut, and possibly that heats up the housing market. Like that's the kind of thing that I think might be driving, or could be a better driver for Home Depot, at least in the coming quarters. Of course, watch out for if somehow we don't get that cut, which is over 80% expected. I think that would be a pretty big headwind for them, no questions asked. This is a $400 stock. I'm probably not going to be trading Home Depot, but I actually think it's probably a decent play in the home builders. You might get more juice out of those, but Home Depot, a much safer way, I think, to play that trend. So solid quarter. But I think the bigger deal here is the impending rate cut is starting to juice up that space, and Home Depot is a pretty big beneficiary of it. As long as we keep that path toward the back half of the year, then this is something which logically would test highs.
We have basically a dead stock. I mean, Home Depot is it's flat on the year. So this is where we started the year, right into here. We're up a little bit on this, and it's finally starting to break out away from its sort of 6-month sort of malaise down here under the 200 period moving average. We broke out of it about a week and a half at the beginning of August, right there a week and a half ago, and now we're starting to push even higher right now. So yeah, I mean, 425, 430, 435, something in and around this area is where I think it's going to be going. And then I would sort of try to fade this. Again, I like the stock. I think it's great to have some diversification. I don't know if it's going to have any huge moves going forward. I think it's just a nice piece into the portfolio. It's a steady riser, man. I mean, you could go back and call up a daily chart, a weekly chart, a monthly chart. You'll be really impressed with what Home Depot has been doing, and you collect a little bit of a dividend as well. So, yeah, I mean, I like the stock. I just don't think that there's anything in it for us today. The volume is pretty good, 250,000. So, yeah, it looks like it wants to take out these levels, but we're sort of already above where we've been. There's that 408, something to look at if you are long. Maybe take a piece out if you can get up into that area. But, yeah, I mean, I like Home Depot, but nothing to move the needle for me. It's not a tech name. It's It's just a name that's kind of drifting higher, and I think it does that the rest of the day, despite missing on the top and the bottom line. If the market likes it, then it's going to do this kind of stuff. So yeah, up and away for Home Depot today. I think it grinds higher.
Yellow goes with everything in the background. Nvidia trying to bounce here, 182 coming back into play. If you missed it, we touched on it with Mitch early on in the first 30 minutes of the show. Yet another attempt here from Nvidia to legally, ? Get a chip into China.
Well, Donald was pushing for it the other day. I think he was trying to say, make a China-specific version of Blackwell. And that's exactly what they did, Brendo. China. So NVIDIA is designing, guys, a new B30A AI chip for China using its latest Blackwell architecture. It's going to be more powerful than the current H20, but scaled back from the flagship B300. It's going to be, a single die design delivering about 50% of the B300 performance with high bandwidth memory as well as NVLink, all for that fast processor communication. And samples of this new chip could be sent to Chinese clients as early as next month. Obviously, pending regulatory approval, they still have to wait for the nod from the Commerce Department. President Donald Trump recently suggested, as I mentioned, that he may allow a more advanced NVIDIA chip to be sold in China, but approval is far from guaranteed amid bipartisan national security concerns. We know lawmakers fear even the scaled-down AI chips, which could help China close the AI gap with the U.S., and NVIDIA emphasizes that all its products are designed for commercial use and all require government authorization before they're exported. And China, just to give you an idea here, accounts for 13% of NVIDIA's revenue, making the market critical despite restrictions. But that 13% number, Brendo, it's down from 20% about 2 years ago.
The stock actually moving right now. I was just checking. U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick was on CNBC there. The last comment that I see, he said, the NVIDIA CEO is fantastic, and I'm sure he is pitching Trump all the time. Pitching their bandwagon, I guess, here on the Intel story this morning. But that was on NVIDIA, so I guess they were discussing this Intel deal somewhat, guys, on CNBC there with Lutnick.
Super interesting.
Yeah, a bit of a spike on NVIDIA there because it was a 300,000 buy imbalance. So 300,000 buy imbalance on NVIDIA, 570,000 buy imbalance on Intel, 440,000 share sell imbalance, although it just moved around. I just saw it a second ago. That was weird. Open had one, now it's gone. And then Under Armour, UA, 1.6. But as far as NVIDIA goes, look, I like the story. As long as if you're talking about a path to sales in China, that's good. You know? $4.5 billion that they're not making, and NVIDIA needs to make more money, right? Because clearly they're not making enough. It's all good to me. Look, the day it finally breaks 184, fine. We're going to have the 184 break whenever that does eventually happen. 181 sits as a dip buy opportunity here today, and still looking for that 184 play to come in. It's just been an absolute brick wall, and every time we mention it, it fails to break it. So I'm probably jinxing it again on NVIDIA.
Yeah, I only have the 184 written down again, but I wasn't really looking at it today. You know, a good move yesterday. I think you can kind of leave it alone off the open and let it figure out what it wants to do, and then gives you trades. So like yesterday, if you're looking short, that 183 didn't break, and boom, right? Like you could have played short off this kind of action and then used 183 as your out. And then even when it comes back into the 200 period moving average again, it gives you this 181 area again yesterday as like buy, even gives it to you again. And then it kind of gives you that same level one more time right there again, like 182.50 before falling back to 181, 182, I guess. So that's only about 50 cents. But now you're trying to break through. So I think 183 could be interesting. Yeah, I'm still thinking a little red on the market today, but the market's now battling back. So I'm going to stick with what I said in the beginning is relatively slower day in the market where we are going to have these ups and downs, but we shouldn't rip one way or the other. I don't really see too many catalysts going through. Right now you have names like Microsoft and whatnot that still continue to be downside a little bit. AMD today, I gotta hold on a second. I don't know why I zoomed this down. 173, so that's going the other way now as AMD. If you're gonna play red, probably in the space would be Advanced Micro Devices or Intel. We haven't looked at Intel in 20 minutes or so. So that's still okay. So they did make the move down in the 200 period, now now taking off a little bit higher right there. We still have SoFi on our mind. The trade with 1 minute to go right now in the market.
Maybe restate the story.
We took an advantage. Is there a new story?
No, just restate it maybe.
Oh, yeah, we took advantage of that move up, but here comes SoFi right back in again. So we're out of some of this. We'll wait to see if SoFi can come in, test that 24 area. We're looking to buy some of these dips in SoFi if that does come through, and then taking out the top on Tesla is going to be another trade that we're trying to get here today. So it should be a wild one. It's 336 is the trade on Tesla. We're looking for 336.25 or so as a high break there. We'll just massage this SoFi trade, and then I'm looking to fade the Nasdaq if we ever get up there. And I'm going to use the tool of the TQQs as we usually do, and it's getting expensive now. But I'm sitting at 93.50. That's the high there. We're going to short rate it around here, 93.40. So that's what we're trying to do, and we're going to figure it all out. Stay green and stay safe.
So the story on SoFi was that they're launching blockchain-powered global money transfers. It was a 24.5 breakout anyways, but it did so on that news as, whoa, that was very delayed on the bell because the market's opening right about now. Usually I time it much better than that, but a new key because we don't have the green screen. So the market is now open. Tesla
just took off. Yeah, we missed that. You got it, I missed it. I wish I had got that one. Yeah, good trade there on Tesla as it's breaking higher right there.
Tesla immediately broke. Oh, SoFi bounced right off the.
I still want to get more Tesla. I had to buy some 337. So my break, Phil, I only crossed up as high as 40s there. So you got 37. So again, using different keys. We'll see. Here it comes. Okay, now it's coming right back in. So all good on this one. Now SoFi, we're in the game. Sorry.
Well, speaking
Tesla,
of SoFi. SoFi, you're not going to believe it if you pull it up. It bounced exactly off of 24.5.
I got that. Oh, 24.5. I got that fill lower there.
Yeah, it reloaded. I missed the reload on SoFi, right to the level, and then a clean bounce on
Tesla,
SoFi.
do something.
As Tesla's trying to hold above that 336.5 zone. Nvidia is not really doing much, to be honest with you. Oh goodness, Intel's moving though. Right, I mean, we're in SoFi before, and obviously Tesla just broke, but Intel broke the 25, and it's going higher, so I was wrong. I thought it was dip by, and instead, Intel just decides it's going to go straight to the upside. So yeah, disappointed we didn't get the Intel, but now we'll look to see if Tesla can break that 37 again.
Yes, let's go. This is already a really good trade here. We're long at 336.40s. We did get that reload, or not, we didn't get the reload, we got our initial bump. We didn't get it first, but we're trying to get some out now as we're just stone cold chilling. Shout out to Austin, Texas. Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, so nice move up now. We're trying to make that dollar here. I'm at keeps on fading off 337, man. I don't know what's up with Tesla here. I will take another out if we can get it in the 90s, but for right now, we have a good amount of shares, right? And so we're going to wait to see where this thing goes from here. But so I have to scalp out some. I have enough shares to be able to do this. So we're going to keep doing that, get some more out here around 90, put some money in our pocket, and then wait to see if this thing does want to fly. A couple more outs there in the 90s for Tesla. Let's just wait to see where we go. But I like the stock, and we're just going to have to try to figure it out. But Tesla right now trying to fade off. I'm going to get out if it breaks 335 on the downside. So a couple good outs there in the 90s. Pretty happy with that. But here it comes right back in. So same as SoFi.
Yeah, SoFi came right back as well.
What is it?
I just reloaded on SoFi. Ooh, did I just get out and not back in?
Damn, we wanted that.
Yeah, SoFi came back in as well. So I was able to get the 34 reload on SoFi, but I did not catch the reload on Tesla back into 336. That's a little bit disappointing. No, SoFi's losing the bit a bit. So I did get the reload in SoFi off the 24.5, but that's now cratering's the wrong word. It's now pulling right back in. This might fill in the entirety of the gap. Remember, 24.5 was the breakout level on the stock. So as far as I'm concerned, if it can't hold that, it's not looking good at all. The market is absolutely dripping to the downside as everything is falling back in here. Everything I'm looking at except for Intel, which is oddly enough, I'm not even long this thing. I'm not trying to reverse in this bad boy either, though. We're going to stay away from that. Yep, we're at the pre-market low. This is your last chance to hold, Tesla.
Yep. Yeah, I'm taking one last shot here on Tesla. Sometimes we get carried away and we keep on going back in and back in and back in, but we do get out on that 335 break. So yeah, damage done for sure because we got some out on the top, but we were hoping for a break. And again, we talked about a slow day. We talked about fading the Nasdaq, and Fade City is what we're got right now. The TQs, man, wow, what a trade on that one as the Nasdaq just continues to go lower here right off the jump, down now 0.5 percentage point, and the TQs really getting crushed, man. We should have taken that trade at $93, but again, we were into Tesla, thinking the market was going to potentially head higher, and no siree on that one. All right, reloaded position here. Obviously, we've got some SoFi here on board as well, so let's wait to see what happens here with SoFi, hoping for a little bit of a tick higher.
Nvidia's
yeah, good news. Yeah, everything I think is heading a little bit lower there, including Nvidia, as Neil was just mentioning. But yeah, right now SoFi on watch off that 24 level. It's what we wrote down, so we want to be able to take some shares here, but not working out the greatest now on some of these longs. But let's go and see what winds up happening. Yeah, we're gonna appreciate SoFi down at 24. See if we can get a little bit more and see if it wants to go. You mentioned Nvidia and Intel.
Well, Intel's doing okay. It's actually holding the bid better than most things, but Nvidia decidedly red. Once again, 184 is not going to break. Well, it's not going to break at the open. I don't want to write off the rest of the day, but it doesn't look likely. 181 looks like the support level. I thought we were breaking today and not dip buying in Nvidia, but sometimes that's just what happens. It looks like it's going to be a 181 long on this bad boy if we can get it. Oh, I mentioned there was one stock that I didn't get to, BMNR I liked for a short, but I'm going to go out and say it's not doing anything. It's certainly not popping into 57. That's $2.50 away from target, so really nothing to see there on BMNR. Let us know what else you guys are watching here because, it's been wild. Palantir, 166. I see in the chat people were mentioning Palantir. I'm now out of Tesla.
Yep, finally.
No good. It just lost to 334. It did dip 334 and bounce into 335. But then right back into some of those lows as well. So yeah, kind of a disappointing move there on Tesla. The initial break, it gave you what you wanted, but now we're losing the bid. SoFi did the same thing. I'd venture to say SoFi is actually it's almost still up on the day. Tesla went decidedly red. And Intel in the back of this SoftBank story. So much for the dip. I wanted the stock to dip like it did when it had the rumor of the US deal. And no, there's absolutely none. The market goes down and Intel goes up. See? We're in bizarro world, Jerry.
Yeah, it is bizarro world right now. We did get hit on our Tesla. We're out of that one, but oh boy, we got right back into Palantir. So Palantir on that dip down. We're going to see if we can get some actionable trading now back to the upside as we just start to piece these out, man. We still are thinking of a red day. We talked about that earlier. Sorry to bring that up to everybody, but that's what we are thinking. And yeah, here it comes right back in. We'll try to play off that 166 area. That was the local bottom there for Palantir. So we're long right now. We've been getting it out. It's 50 cents in the money. We'll make back a little bit of what we lost here on, well, hopefully a little bit more than just a little bit on Teslas. There it goes right now. Yes, sir. Here it comes, man. Now 80 cents in the money now for Palantir. Hopefully that will continue to climb higher here. We need a little bit of a rebound in the market if this is really going to work out for us, of course. But it's trying. So there it goes, 167. It just keeps on getting smashed down, right? Every time it gets hit up, it was just at 167.40. We were lucky enough to get some out right there. But now it's coming back in one more time. So there goes Palantir back into the downside. It looks like SoFi is about to lose that $24 mark. So not a good little level there for SoFi. Is a good level, but not a good one to lose. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening here with SoFi back down into that $24 mark. So we didn't get any more bids down here, unfortunately. We're waiting for $24.50. We were able to get some out right there on the bump back higher. So yeah, we'll wait on this one. But now we're full position on SoFi. We could always get more, but I'm gonna let this go if it breaks, probably 90s or 80s or something downside. Let's give it a little bit of work here on SoFi. We're long at 24s and we've got almost $1 now in the money on Palantir. So there we go. That's starting to work out for us. So bye-bye Palantir, thankfully. Yes, sir. There it goes. That's your first. Well, we had a dollar club on Tesla, but it wound up losing it. But right there, the first true one as we go a little bit higher right now on PLTR, man. Bought the dip there, and then we're ready to go on SoFi. Let's take off on this one too.
Yeah, SoFi hopefully can get going. I mean, it's now underneath that the prior high, so I'm away from that stock. I really only liked it on the breakout, and the reason was that the reason was this top on the daily. Like, you're failing a pretty big double top for a reversal, so I'm going to need to see something distinct off the lows to break the trend that we're seeing to the downside. Nvidia with a decent bounce. It's Intel. Intel's like the only thing that we're looking for off the open that didn't catch anything. Like, Tesla was good, then it wasn't, so slightly down to flat on Tesla. But Intel, if it can come into VWAP here and bounce off 25.10, that's where I'll look to join the trend on INTC. Nvidia 181 looks like that's going to be going for sure. And apparently ARM is going. Why not? Why isn't ARM strong? Not really sure particularly. Oh, okay, let's go to Adair. Adair might have the news.
Here's why ARM is strong. There's this report suggesting that ARM is hiring this Amazon AI veteran to help push its in-house chip drive and challenge Nvidia and AMD. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Adair, for all of that one. Yeah, SoFi trying to go. We just got some more outs there on SoFi. Nice little topside move there between 24.25s and 24.30s there on the upside. So we'll have to wait to see if we want to continue to go a little bit higher. We'll check back in on our friend Tesla real quick. So maybe it's now giving us that kind of a base, but I don't want to buy it here on a bump in the Nasdaq. I'd rather sort of let things settle down just a little bit and then maybe go on this one. So let's just hold off just a little bit here on Tesla before we get back in. But just looking around, we can check out what Ethereum's doing, ETHA. That's been downside again, another 1.5% lower right now on Ethereum. Palo Alto, the name right here that we've been looking at. I said this, that we would take a 185, not that we would take, but that would be the spot there. It looks like the 200 period's now at 186.40, so watch out for that one as a possibility here, going a little bit lower now as it's not taking out those pre-market highs. So Palo Alto on a great report, doesn't seem like it wants to hold some of those levels. Good bunch of outs there for Palantir. As it's just dancing around here. I'm going to get out some more at 167 as it's threatening to fall back in a little bit there. So our best outs are 168, which are fantastic. I didn't think we would be able to get those out right there for $1.50, but let's not just give our chickens too much here before they hatch, as we're not quite sure what this directional play will be here on the market. But we're happy to hold longs. Some good outs on SoFi as well right there. And then I guess the next story, you're going to talk about Open Door, so I'm just going to go over quickly to Intel. There it goes, man, up 8%. We're very, very happy about that. Your boy will be getting out of some Intel after the show. So, yeah, so far so good here. Let's just keep the party going.
Always have orders out. This is something I talked to Sharif about this. Well, I don't know. I've been the victim of this in the past, for sure. But today we're talking about this with Viking, which I'm surprised Viking didn't actually make it onto our rundown. Because Viking Therapeutics, on what was a positive note, went all the way to $60. That was real. Like, it went $45 to $60 and back to $26 on a positive report on the GLP oral drug. So ultimately, like, I was a buyer at 32. You have an order, you get some out, but I didn't get it all out, so I'm out of the money on the rest of it. This is a stock, obviously down 40% means it's SSR. That goes without saying. So 10% down or more, uptick rule in effect. One level at 24, another level at 20. Those are the levels I'm looking for, just that mean reversion trade. Intel is not doing a mean reversion at all because it sucks. Thank you very much, Intel. I'm fighting a sneeze, but I don't think we're going to get VWAP anytime soon on Intel yet. But what is at least starting to calm down and set up is this 181 on Nvidia. So it just ran the low of the day again, broke the low of the day, held 180, and then back above the 181. So this is yesterday's. It's not yesterday's low. It's like yesterday's support bottom. So I'm taking the first shot at Nvidia here. No, it's fine, whatever.
Butterfingers. Yeah, thanks to Rob for doing all of that. And as Sharif says, get it, Rob, and get it, Adara. What is a day without some get-its? Yeah, we are getting, Apple's starting to go back up to the upside. I just want to say Palantir's not going to the upside right now.
Have you seen Tesla?
I just hope Apple's going up.
336.
Yeah, okay, well that's fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. You know, we got some outs there on Tesla. I'm happy that Apple's doing this. Obviously, our recent buy of Apple at 212 is actually done pretty well as well there. We've got Palo Alto, 180, 212 Apple. We've got Oscar, we've got everything, but we do not have Palantir because right there, that one fails again and flushes lower. Palantir there in the wrong space right now as it's been getting downgrades and getting Citron Research reported. We're down $20 from its all-time high, 185 down to 165. So yeah, definitely getting hit right there is Palantir. This is probably a good short.
I wish they could I wish short sellers, we talked about this already, I just wish short sellers had to disclose what the position was.
Right.
Like at least the size. I don't even know what your cost base is, but the same way they do 13.
My cost base? Oh,
no.
Theirs. Yeah.
Like we don't know what Warren Buffett's cost base necessarily is in UNH, but we know that he bought it because he has to file. So how come we don't need to know, or no, we do want to know. How come Citron doesn't have to say this is how much we're shorting? I understand. Look, they're not going to take maybe the size of a short. Maybe they don't take as big a position as some of these investor longs. But I feel like because it's a short sell, it should be different. Like the threshold should be lower, but you should still have some kind of transparency there. Anyways, I ranted about that last time too, and to me, it'd be good for transparency. And then some of the things that tick people off about short selling in general, which I think has a place, would be abated if there was just more transparency along with it, more up to date and that kind of thing. But yeah, a lot of people are saying Buffett 312. I know that's what's been thrown around there, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's about I don't care about the cost base. I just want to know that they have disclose the position. Disclose maybe the position size if it's sizable enough, but there should be some kind of rules about timely reporting for large short sell positions too. And I understand why people don't want to, because why wouldn't you want to be able to hide your position as Andrew left? Of course you would want to hide it if you can, and then be able to say you have it after the fact when you put out the report. I get that, and you take advantage of the rules to the best of your ability to make money, and good for them. I just don't like it. That's the best way of saying it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've talked about that short seller report as well numerous times. And we talked about this market and how it's set up for the rich to get richer and so on and so forth. So that's why day trading is a losing game. It's investing is the winning side of it if you have some money into work. All right, so SoFi right now, it looks like it's going to break even lower right here. So we're going to get out of this once it breaks this 23.85 marker. Completely wrong on this one. I mean, we had Mitch here talking about it, how much he loves SoFi. I guess that's obviously incorrect as well. But we did get that move higher right there off of them announcing some sports gambling. Oh, that was Robinhood actually with the sports gambling. But SoFi there, nice move higher. It was something about crypto, I think, for SoFi. But
it was the payment processing.
Payment processing for crypto, I think.
No, money transferring.
So. Yeah, Neil's eating, so don't worry. You don't have to speak all the time. You just finish the food, and then we'll get back to you.
But I'm always eating.
So 23. Anyways, we're a couple pennies away from getting stopped out here. If it breaks this 23.85, we'll have to slap a fail on us again. Yesterday we were 5 for 5 or something like that. Right now, early we'll be 0 for 3. But Palantir is not. It's a loser because it's a red spark mark, but it's not. We actually did really well. We were getting out for positive, and then eventually it wound up breaking. So we do have to look somewhere right now. Nvidia is down to 180 right now and tanking. Like I consider this a tank, $3 straight down right there for Nvidia. So let's see if we can get some positive action there for NVDA at some point here, as it looks like it wants to take out 180. So the markets are definitely pulling back, man. I don't remember the last time we even had the Nasdaq down 1%. It looks like it wants to do it today. So yeah, not a good day to be short, not a good day to be long, and not a good day to miss the shorts. As we had written down short, market gone down 2%. TQQs is what it is. As we continue to go lower, right there. Figma. Apple as well. Yeah.
The Figma, BMNR. At least I tried to get BMNR short, but Figma and the all-time low flat bottom break. Yeah, it happened. And it was spectacular, and it was real. Yeah, you probably would have missed the trade anyways. I don't know. I say it's like a miss, but who knows when you try to get a bottom break like this at the open, whether you actually catch a fill. But Figma absolutely cratering to the downside here. I did like BMNR This is one that we wanted to grab in the short side. I tried, anytime there's a failed break, I'm always looking for that little VWAP retracement. It comes into VWAP, I try to catch it on the way down, like it's a standard trade. This one just dropped like a rock. Sometimes the market just falls so far, so fast, it's hard to pick up that secondary move. You can only get the first. Let's go to Adara for some potential news.
Let's go Intel.
I wanted to recap the SoFi story in case anybody missed it. So what happened here with SoFi is they basically announced blockchain-enabled money, international money transfers. So international money transfers enabled by blockchain through the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So that was the story here with SoFi because I heard it mentioned, and just in case anybody missed it. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Adara. I'm going to try a little bit of luck here with Intel. I mean, I was just sort of zooming back out, and I was thinking like, you know, we didn't want to trade it. It's not on the note today, but I was like, if we can get into this area, that would be where I would be selling it as a trader. So I'm going to be doing that once we get off the show. I mean, got to take 30% or whatever it is right now profit. So we're going to do that. But 2650 to 2680 is a potential area here for whoopsies. For Intel. So there it is. So I am now short on Intel, and it's printing. So good trade here so far. I'm going to put something on the bid just to make sure you get some 16s. There we go. And then now we'll wait to see if it gets a little bit lower. But yeah, here, okay. Bang, finally. There it is, man. So a little bit of money being made back. Thank you, Intel. Boom. Okay. So there it goes, man. We just shorted some Intel there off the top. The position board's not working again, Andre.
Yes.
There it is. Now it's in. Okay. All you have to do is mention it, and then it goes back. So we'll get some more outs here. 99s, if we can get that. There it is. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's it, finally. A little bit of money coming through here for us on the Intel pullback. I'm already out of 35%. So I mean, I was not expecting this 30-cent move real this quickly. I was actually looking at higher levels, like where we may get stopped out if this doesn't go right. But we'll put another bid down here in the low 90s, and then we'll just regroup. You know, 60s might be the stopping spot there. So let's put a bigger order around 70, and then we'll take it out if we are lucky enough to get a pullback into 70 there for Intel. But our SoFi came out. I wonder if that's going to be a mistake. So far, so good. We did have some good moves up there for SoFi, but then eventually it wound up losing the bid. So really the worst trade for me today is Tesla, because we did put some real money at work here on TSLA and got stopped out literally at the bottom. So congratulations, Sean. You made the bottom tick on Tesla. So there it is. So we'll slap a fail on that one. But yeah, that's what trading's all about, man. And we'll give that up. It's now $1.50 higher than where we stopped out. So I hope you guys didn't do it. But there it goes, man. We got to be disciplined in that. And that's what happened to me there on Tesla. So not a great out at all. But hey, I was like, if we take 334, break 333.50, we're going to get out, and that's what happened. So we have the low of the day on Tesla. I hope someone's long off my print.
But you have to protect yourself with a stop in all markets, just like Rob is protecting my head with like, he just put like a soft thing, just in case I do one of those. Not that I'm going to do that. Because
I told Rob I need some time off, so Rob, do not put anything soft on mine.
I'm not trying to hit my head on that thing, although it's been okay so far. So look, open door.
Damn
I
you,
said if
Tesla.
it can't hold 4, then it's the 3/4 mark, which effectively, it closed at 378, but 375 down here in the 3/4 mark is the level that I'm looking for it to bounce off. It just double bottomed here. If it makes the low, if it breaks the low, I'm out. If it holds the low, I want to look at least to the volume weighted average price. If it breaks the trend, I want to look to add to it. But I'll be mad at myself over BMNR. That being said, I don't know how aggressively I will want to short a pop in BMNR. I'm just reminding myself about what happened yesterday when this thing tanked and if you missed the open move. Like yesterday, we're shorted at the open, and look how it rallied, did a full V-shaped recovery, and it wasn't a short until the top. So I don't know if I want it to VWAP. VWAP's going to have to look pretty convincing for a short trade for me in there. Tesla's trying to re-break the high as well. Like, that's insane how strong that one has been. It's for anyone that's like, what is actually behind us? It's literally going to be our desks. Like it's just a recreation of our desk. We're moving down. In the new version of the floor, we are going to be sitting right behind us. Where we are,
like a little styrofoam thing?
A little bit further.
I got one for there.
It's just.
Oh my gosh, you're really protecting me over here. Rob, I said put it on Neil's, man. I could use a head wound every once in a while. Okay, thanks, Rob, for doing that. And,
no one wants a head wound.
Again, I'm just joking about that. Taking good care of us. Thank you so much. But making that low of the day on Tesla kind of sucked. That's for sure. Wow, look at Tesla going right now. Maybe should have taken that 336 long back in. Maybe Palantir's finally found a bottom there. And I was debating on taking the futures long as well. We do have still Intel short. Man, oh man, that Intel short is awesome. Yeah, thank you, whoever just said awesome there. But there it is, a nice move to the downside for Intel. Now 40 cents in, we have it, so happy, joy there. Some Ren and Stimpy.
Home Depot, 5%.
Going through. Home Depot, yeah, I said it would slowly grind, and I guess it's not grinding, it's
For Home Depot,
going.
this is more than a grind.
But there it is right there. Yeah, just ticking higher, man. We'd sort of indicated, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Nice move there on Home Depot. I don't know if you had some talk about it, but there it goes, Home Depot.
It's way better. The other thing I wanted to be able to do here is, I didn't find Home Depot because of anything I was doing. It's because the chat wanted Home Depot. And I saw it in there and I realized, hey, we didn't refresh this. This is all yesterday's stuff, although it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna restart it now. And for anybody out there, if you want us to talk about a symbol or go over something, make sure you type $ and then the ticker. So for example, you go $, and then we were just talking about Home Depot. So I will do HD, you'll see HD. I see NEO, AMD, SQQs, PANW, obviously that makes sense. So we'll check out some Palo Alto, Reddit, Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy. So that's what you gotta do. We'll come back and revisit it. Right now it's a Qs, Oscar, MSTR, TNA. Okay, that's the only one that's surprising me is TNA there. But yeah. So we'll check back in and see what it is that you guys are the most interested in. So thank you so much to all of our viewers, of course. But if just looking overall, HD, super strong move. The other earnings name was, of course, PANW. Big mover to the upside, giving a lot of that, giving some of it back. Let's not be dramatic. Still up 4.5%, right? But it didn't hold the pre-market low. I only wanted longs if it bounced off the pre-market low. It has not done so, so I'm not touching it. Open Door has held the low, but it has not gotten to the volume weighted average price just yet. And Tesla just broke the high of the day
Tesla's
because
a crazy trade. That was our #1 trade, and I don't even
Tesla
have it.
did Tesla.
Oh boy, I wrote down 334 support on here too, and we just, oh man, like it goes down 50 more cents against that level. Basically, 338. All right, you know what? I mean, sad, but at the same time, it's just a trade. We'll be back.
Next available dip, I want to test.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we wrote it down. I mean, look, at least like we said this, I say this all the time. When you're a gambler and you're reading the board, it's like that's a great call on Tesla. It's just, it did dip down 50 cents further than I thought, but 50 cents further than I thought to now have a $2 in the money off of our posted level. I mean, I'm fine with that. It's just should have maybe been traded a little bit nicer right there. Palo Alto does break 185. I mean, that was a level that we had talked about. Again, I'm not in it, so I hate like talking about trades. Just like coulda, shoulda, woulda, but there's a level to the downside. Palo Alto, great earnings, down now on the day, but still up 4%. I think that's a pretty good little run there for PANW, Palo Alto, so we'll just hold it tight. I do have a trade ready to brew up right now. It's gonna be AMD on a 171 break, so if AMD can break back above 171 right there, we're gonna go on in, we're gonna go pretty hard. So hopefully that will be a case for us breaking through VWAP. VWAP is at 170.85, so I feel like if it does do a break and then a little bit of a fake, we can hold it just a little bit, but not too much, maybe back down 50 cents or so for this, but here comes AMD. It's a break that I like. We were able to also get out more of Intel as it's coming back down. So right now, we only have 30% left of INTC. I'm gonna put another bid right there, get some 05s. It's all right, we got 04s, or got 05s there, so another out. We only have 25% left of Intel, and we wait for AMD, which is moments away from breaking, and we're gonna go long here, Advanced Micro Devices, as long as we don't miss the fill. But yeah, good job for everybody today. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. Get in that chat, as Neil mentioned. We're going over everything for you, so I'll call it up. We have over 9,000 watching. CoreWeave probably tanking.
Yeah, CoreWeave now tops the list, which a little bit surprising. I mean, there's lots of things moving. It's another bad day for CoreWeave, 4.5% down. All of these recent IPOs have taken it on the chin this morning. Figma broke lows and was down 6% the last time I checked. This is I'm going to pay for locates on this. I didn't do it this morning. $90. It's not an all-time low, but this is a local double bottom here on CoreWeave. If we lose that, it's not 90. Oh, that might be a bad wick. This is why you always zoom in. It might be a bad wick. I'll double check on eSignal because it might have already broken the low. So I'll still pay for locates, but that's not an auto short. I don't think it actually went down there. So I might have to look for a different type of trade there in CoreWeave. Open Door does not really break away from the trend too much. We're able to get a couple of legs out there going into 390, and then VWAP sits here at 395. Ideally, it can break back out over $4, but remember the market's weak, and sometimes these small cappers are going to give it up when they're up a bajillion percent. It's up 1% today, or 1.5%, but this is almost a double in the last 3 or 4 sessions. So if it does run into some resistance here, it's going to make a little bit of sense to me for sure. BMNR, I did want to be short this, but it's going to require some patience. Missed it off the open. As it comes into VWAP, that's where ideally I look to get short if it's not the high of the day. But I'm going to need to see some kind of topping tail, something that shows me we're on the other end of the trade. After you miss an opportunity like that in a couple of longs, you're able to get out of the longs fast enough, but just not fast enough to get into the one short that I wanted. When this drops, it drops real fast. The bid is just, the spread opens up. Like, you have to get it when it's kind of going a little bit sideways and checking up a bit. That's your chance to get into position on this stock. Not when it's like doing these candles, because every day that you get away from the most momentum and the highest volume, on stocks like this, the spread opens up when it starts to move.
I was going to say, we could talk to Shree. I know Shree got some Ethereum last week. I know he's talking about it on the show, so you guys can talk to him and see what's going on with ETHA, what maybe some of his thoughts are over there coming at the end of our show, 11 o'clock. Okay, so just real quick, we are into AMD now, so we'll hit a new position alert for everybody. Our best outs are only 14s, so that's about as high as it gets. We did get long at 01, so just a quick little 13-cent winner right there. We'll try to average it back in, but if this loses 170.50 right there, as we sort of mentioned, then we'll get out of that trade right now. So AMD looks like that break does not hold, and now we get that break and now a fake right back in there for Advanced Micro Devices, hoping that it continues to go up. But of course, you can't just hope for one thing. I mean, the futures are also starting to head back down a little bit right now. So we're long now at 94, potentially not a good one. If it does break, we're going to get out. We're not holding this all the way back down into those lows, that's for sure. So AMD right now, thought the market might have got going. We like the space, obviously in the chip space, but if we do break 50, we'll get out to 75% of this one and then watch the rest of it kind of bleed here as it's going to go lower. Advanced Micro Devices off that 171. We should have just shorted one of the worst, there it goes. We should have just shorted one of the worst stocks, but instead we went long. So we're going to hold just a little bit of this trade left there for AMD, but yeah, definitely not a good one there as it just broke through 171 there. So yeah, not a great trade there, I guess, as the futures want to fade back out one more time. Intel's making a ride higher here, which is fine. We have 15% left of that. Maybe we'll reload this one. It's AMD that we just got hit on right there, trying to bounce off of 170 right now. What's up, Adara, I believe?
Time for happening now. Let's take a look here at the Nasdaq. There's actually maybe potentially a bit of a bottoming tail candle on the Qs, but if you look at this 15-minute chart, it's just a steady story going back to this would be the 30th Wednesday. So about a week now, these lower highs and lower lows, if you zoom out and look at a wider time frame. Now, of course, we are still near all-time highs for the market, but this recent trend has been a little bit more negative. The S&P 500, though, not really looking the same, whereas you can see with the Qs, there's a clear stream to the downside. S&P 500 quite a bit choppier. Though it's worth noting some of these highs are getting a bit lower. Tons of news in the fintech space, oddly enough, so let's go over it. We had SoFi on watch this morning announcing they're launching a blockchain-powered global money transfer through this Bitcoin Lightning Network. So good look here initially, gapping up for SoFi, but giving back some of that move. A lot of these semiconductors here on watch, we'll talk about them because I didn't include them here for whatever reason. Keep an eye on names like Nvidia. With Nvidia, of course, you have reports from Reuters that they're working on this new China chip. Then you have ARM reportedly tapping an Amazon AI veteran. And also, of course, Intel with that investment from SoftBank. But yeah, to go back to a couple other names here, DraftKings and Flutter Entertainment on watch. Robinhood launching these football prediction betting markets. And last but not least, TSLA, certainly one that everyone had their eyes on this morning. The company launching a 6-seater Model Y in China. As we know, their sales have been struggling across the world. Make sure to like and subscribe as we send you back to Neil and Sean.
Yeah, and no, you can. It is in the New York. If you were trading Flutter though, just remember primary listing is going to be in London, I believe. So I pulled it up. It's done 200,000 shares. Yeah, you're not trading it here. No, not even close. DraftKings is the way you want to express that. That's insane. Yeah, primary listing, of course, in the UK. All right, so BMNR just came in. It did a bit of a topping tail candle. I was able to kind of get filled on the way back down, but then the bulk of what I got was at the 30 in the 30s. So my price is 52.3. The topping tail is 86. So it's just over 50 cents worth of risk. It's about $1 to the low of the day here on BMNR. Well, you were just mentioning ETH, so. If you're trading any of these names, like anything that's a treasury name, you want to see what's going on in the underlying. It's worth noting we're above the volume weighted average price here on ETH, but still trending down. So if this breaks down, then of course it's great for the short in BMNR. If this breaks out, well, my stop is in anyways. But the longer it holds on to VWAP, that'd be more reason to take a scalp out. So when I see it hold just now, I'm going to get an order in here if we break 52 to try to get something in front of the 3/4 when I see VWAP holding on Ethereum. You guys, now all of a sudden, I think for good reason, Tesla's going to be up there on the top of the list. CoreWeave, Open Door, Oscar, TNA. We didn't look
Oscar.
at TNA's still on the top, near the top of the list. We'll have to look at that at some point.
My guy
But
Oscar,
Tesla's still trending to the upside and one of the strongest names out there. Right? Like higher lows, despite that pullback. Higher lows being put in. That opening range high at 337 so far is holding, at least for now. Yeah, I'm only in BMNR. Go ahead.
No, you mentioned Oscar. I was going to say, actually, we got filled on Oscar at 1750. I was like, I didn't even realize it was up there that high. We have a pending offer at 1750 for Oscar. So had a pending offer there. And again, it's the same thing happened to me on Webull. The same thing happened to me on, what was an SMR? It was SoFi. SoFi we got out at 24 when it was ripping around. Obviously, that's the same price it is right now, so it's not like a huge deal. But we had talked about this yesterday for Oscar live on the show. We're long there at 1350, and this was our first target right there, 1750. So we got filled there on Oscar. So a good trade there for OSCR. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was all the way up there. I just want to give people an idea. I'm going to punch out a little bit more here. We've been sort of trying to absorb this Nvidia play, and I didn't even, as we were talking about Oscar there, like this is what happens to me, man. So stupid. We missed that bump up there, so hopefully it can come back up there as we talked about our play. And this is what happens when we're trying to host a show and do all these things at the same time. But here it goes, nicely traded here for AMD. Let's get back to the upside and save our day a little bit there. And we did reshort. Okay, we did get there on Intel short. Not sure it's going to work out. Would rather it not, because the whole space ripping up would be much better for my AMD trade. I have about triple the shares on AMD that I do on Intel right now. So hoping that this one can fly a little bit higher.
Guess what's actually going to break today?
Nvidia 184?
No, Neo. Neo's actually going to break away from $5, it looks like, today. I had my order set for it yesterday, and I just saw in the chat someone saying it's getting denied by $5, but I had it all day long. I had a breakout trade set for NIO. Maybe it's XPeng Day that's going to have it go. I see AMD. 501 is the actual high, so it's going to have to break the 502 level in there. And it's not like it's a crazy mover, but this has been resistance, and I like the channel there. That channel is being broken today. Without the drawing tool, you could probably see it. With the drawing tool, it's a little bit easier to see. So I want this breakout whenever it does happen. I see in the chat someone was mentioning CRM. Oh, by the way, TNA is like a 3x small cap ETF. So that's obviously going to be a bit of a mover. That must go absolutely nuts on rate days. CRM's not doing anything, but I don't know what this candle's all about. That doesn't seem real. Not really doing much of anything, but it has made a very, very nice bounce off the lows here. CRM, candidly, told you guys I was buying this thing if it opened the week, holding the low on the weekly chart, and it did, so I bought it on Monday. Well, that's yesterday. And I like it. I just like,
yeah, that's right.
I know that's yesterday. Oh no, but it's a good trend. There's no crazy catalyst for it here today. It just seems technically it's managed to hold on to a key level. I think it can get to the 50-period moving average on that kind of a technical break. So I just want to jump back over to SoFi. News or no news, the thing about SoFi is I like the 24 half break. And so I did try to reload there because it was the breakout price, and it was just completely insignificant. Now all of a sudden you do have VWAP holding at the prior high. So 24.20 is starting to set up like it could be something. If we can get out and about above VWAP, then you're breaking the prior high after making a low. If we can't do that, then I don't want any part of going back into the long position. So let's see if Neil will actually make the break. It's right there right now. doesn't seem to want to catch any kind of a bid. Like, it'll go up, but there's no buyers above the $5 yet. It looks like it could be coming in as we speak, Adara.
I just want to let you guys know we have Fed's Bowman speaking right now on Bloomberg TV. Right now, just speaking a little bit about debanking and taking action against debanking at a Fed level if more cases show up. Not too much happening right now, but worth noting again. Fed's Bowman speaking, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. We did put that out in the notes this morning as well, that Fed Bowman would be on the mic. So let's get that at 10 o'clock there. We'll see what's going on with the Fed. All right, so AMD again bounces completely off of VWAP. So now I have to put an offer here at 80. So we're going to do that, see if we can get something out. Actually, just there it is. We just got filled. So, all right, so hopefully some more upside now as we can blast through there. I have one more offer right now, and that's at 84s. I don't really know why we're just so picky with our prices, but okay, well, there it goes. We just got filled. So, okay, here we go. Now let's see if this thing wants to fly higher, man. All right, good trading over there. I know there hasn't been too many winners today, but I hope you've had a great time. We won on Intel. We're winning now on AMD, obviously, as Neil's with BMNR right now. But I want to say thank you to everybody that's here, because this is what it's all about right now. Get those likes going a little bit, 8,600. If you haven't hit it right now, please do that. You can at least get 10%. 1 out of every 10 of you just hits the like button. That would be great. I'd like to get to 1.5. That's generally where we're at. So let's get that going. And again, if you hit the like button, your trades just hit it and then let me know how it goes, because your next trade is, I think it's about a 50% chance that it's going to be positive, which is much better than the success rate of day traders. So if you hit the like button, you will hopefully have extended success.
That was actually a topic
so we
discussed on the aftermarket show yesterday.
Oh, good, man. That's
it was
good.
Sort of, we discussed like win rates for trades, because Michael, he's very statistic based, right? And so when he has like some of the strategies for breakouts, because a breakout trade, you're supposed to let it go on a swing trade, right? So it should have huge up rate. And so he was mentioning that one of the strategies had like a 48% win rate. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good when you consider the idea. It's like on a daily chart breakout that you hold it for weeks to go.
Right.
And if it has a set stop, 48% was then really good, because you're usually looking at like 2, 3 to 1, maybe even 4 to 1 win rates on things like that. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's what it's all about. You just try to control your losses with stops, and that's all you can really do. I see SLB in the chat a lot. Like, I'm still only in BMNR. Oh, okay. No, I swear it hadn't broken 52 when I was about to say it refuses to break 52, but it just broke the 52 level. I'm going to get some out in front of the low again and then try to hold for $50 even, just because $50 is a round number, and it was resistance, and I like when resistance turns into support as well. Tesla, you've got to be kidding me. 340. It's now at $340 on Tesla. Yeah, frustrating. It's more of a flat trade than anything, because there was a breakout trade and then a stop out and then a dip buy and then a stop out, but in each time did not get enough out before taking the stop out. You know, kind of is what it is. Like, that could have been much better. Like, my entry points were all good. It's just that I was holding for more on Tesla. And then the more happens, and what are you gonna do? You don't have any more on, but still, it's still a strong name. I'm not gonna take a 240 break. Sorry, check that, a $340 breakout. Not the time of the day that I want to be doing that. Let's let it do a dip buy and try to catch something that way. Thoughts on Circle? I've seen people say. I just feel like pretty much all of these recent IPOs, at least everyone I've looked at today, has a very similar chart. Like, they're all flush: Figma flush, CoreWeave flush, Circle flush. Sometimes the sentiment just drags them all down. This stock is destined for $100. And I promise you, the day that, unless I'm on vacation or something, the day that it gets to 100, I'd be looking for a long off that level. It's the first place it caught a bid in its very brief history in said market.
Yeah, that's we punched ourselves out $7 ago on Tesla. So yeah, about that trade. All right, so Intel again, Intel will be the P&L number 1 here today, so we'll say props up for that one, but there it goes, taking out the top, and that's fine, right? We reloaded it there, we got some outs, and this is the thing, when you're reloading something at 38, and then you're getting out at 20, and then it breaks 50 and you get out, fine with that. It just literally ticked us out there at 50, and now we're gonna have to probably pay the piper again and say that we have the high tick on Intel and the low tick on Tesla. So yeah, if you are following inverse Sean, you'd be pretty good there today. So yeah, I still have Tesla in the portfolio. All these trades that we put on here are not long-term trades. We have to be flat at the end of every single day. So yeah, I still own Tesla and still like the stock, obviously, as it goes a lot higher. I haven't sold any Tesla in forever. The one stock that we probably, in hindsight, should have sold up there at that 185, 188 area was Palantir, down now 6%. Looking pretty weak again today, PLTR. Got some sort of a deal with Fujitsu there or something like that in Japan. But yeah, still lower there as valuations coming in. You're getting near that 50-period moving average, which I think is an auto buy for me on PLTR. So if this can come back into 155, 156, we don't have to do anything, but we've been selling a lot of stock at higher levels, like an Oscar, like a Webull, things like that. Rivian, we got out of some. We're going to get out of some Intel ASAP here today, and put some money to work in stocks that we really do believe have quite the upside, and Palantir fits that. I also wouldn't be afraid to buy more Nvidia if its move continues a little bit lower, but I think the news about Nvidia, of course, is going to be in 2 weeks. We have now 1 week, 6 days. Next Wednesday, we have the Nvidia watch party with Neil and whoever else is doing the after show, Adara and maybe Sharif. I don't know.
We might do the whole dream team.
There, yeah. So we'll see.
I mean, if there's a day that we're doing that.
Yeah. So Nvidia will
Nvidia day, like.
Yeah. So that'll come through on Wednesday of next week. So I think they'll buy it into the print, and then I think it will fade a little bit from there. But you guys were. When we were down here, like I was always saying that Nvidia had these higher moves. I think a lot of us thought that. So now we're just going to have to wait to see if its valuation matches its report. I think it will. I don't think there's going to be too many surprises there. And of course, the story today, or what we heard was, Jensen's always in talks with the president and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, they're getting that new chip going back into China. So we do like Nvidia for sure. I like E a lot right now, AMD. But look at this, man. We just keep on banging our head there against those 80s. So I have another offer at 170.80 right now. Hopefully that can fill. Let's go to 170.75. What's really the difference right there? We just get a piece out, and we'll see if it drips back in. We'll try another 170 long, but yeah, not working out as the futures want to fall off of VWAP as well right now. So you're out of your BMNR.
BMNR
was a good one.
Yeah, for sure. It didn't get quite to VWAP, but right to the low of the day there. So we get the move that we wanted out of it. Check that. Not true. We get the move that we're able to get. We didn't get the move. The move I wanted was to try to catch that open fade off VWAP that it did yesterday. We got that one. We didn't actually get the big move here from 54. I jumped in. Like Neil finally caught a bid above $5. Like I don't know, a little bit of size there at 501. So I took. It's so weird. I don't know why sometimes it rounds up. It just annoys me that sometimes it rounds up and sometimes it rounds down when I get a midpoint. Today it's rounding down. My price is 501.5. I got a bats mid, which I use a lot on stocks like that. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of weird that it's inconsistent in which way it rounds. Let's see what that can do. At the end of the day, looking for shorts at VWAP here on the Nasdaq is kind of where my brain's at. Lower high. If we fail VWAP, like what am I fading? And I'm not really finding. I didn't see anything off the bat that just absolutely stood out to me. I did think Amazon was a potential short when I was doing my note this morning, but nothing really stood out with it. And it's at the lows when the market's at VWAP. I don't want to be punching a low when the market's at the volume weighted average price. I haven't found anything that I'm in love with to the south side, but I am I'm just hunting for a trade that sets up at this level for sure. One of the names that could come into play for relative weakness, but again, it's at the lows, it's SMCI. This is Nasdaq stock. Come on.
The high and the low.
There we go. But that's also at the low of the day when the market's making the low high at VWAP. Kind of a weird spot to try to be finding the short trade. If we bounce off VWAP, this thing could easily run. So I wanted something which is doing what the market's doing, where I can get a bigger move to the downside here if we can catch it.
Yeah, good. I mean, I'm feeling like the downside is lit up as well. Look, our recent Eli Lilly buy is almost $80 in the money right now. Eli Lilly's starting to go upside. We recently bought at $6.39. So, long-term and short-term swing accounts working out. Day trade account today, not. What's up, Adara?
I just want to let you guys know, it seems like Fed's Bowman might have commented here on the possibility of her being the next Fed chair. Apparently, she said during this Bloomberg TV interview that she's focused on her current role. Initially, she wasn't in talks at all for this Fed chair position, but then last week when CNBC reported a new list of potential Fed chair candidates, she was actually on that list. Again, it's worth noting Trump did just nominate her, and she was just recently appointed within the last few months as the vice chair for supervision. So a bit odd if she would immediately become the Fed chair after that. So again, it seems like right now, addressing this potentially, she does not seem super focused on the Fed chair role. Back to you.
Thanks as always, Adair. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm going to start. I'm going to start the short. Yeah, Apple maybe. I'm going to start the short now. There goes Eli Lilly, by the way. I mean, up another 2%, so we really like that play. All right, so coming back in right now, like fire, is AMD. So we absorbed all those plays there at VWAP. I think we did a good job getting out of the majority of our trade. Let's just wait to see if it wants to continue to fall through. You know, if we break some of this, like that's 169.80. And we've already made the exact bottom and the exact tops. Like, look at this Intel top that we made right there. So again, we didn't have that many shares, so it's fine. Intel's a positive stock for us. I would have been more, like, I'm more pissed off about Tesla bottom because we actually are trading with shares and that hurts. So that part sucks about it. But we'll wait now to see what happens here for AMD. I'm going to put, you know, because we don't have too many shares, 169.40, but I'm really thinking if we break through 170, I need not worry about all these wicks. So I'm going to go with, you know, 169.88, and that way if we get stopped out, at least it's, you know, in the realm of here, and I'm not forcing it and pushing lower on that name. And then just here, we're going to try to go short against this 40 area right now on the futures as we battle with the 50 period and VWAP. So we take one at the 50, one at VWAP right now, and we're short at 91. So not a huge position. We're going to wait a little bit higher up before we get something on the TQs, maybe 30s or so into this area, and then we'll use this as our top tick out, 92.40. Anything can happen when you're trading the futures, man. So you just got to be careful, or especially with the TQs because it's triple levered. You know, a little bit of a bump up and we'll wax that level, no problem. So you got to be careful with all of those plays for sure. So yeah, we're just we're in one here today, and again, thank everybody for everything that you've been doing. We have Target retail coming up very soon. We've got Walmart coming through. All these plays, and if you're seeing what Home Depot is doing today, you know, nice little climb up 4%, much more than expected. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with these other two retail names. It seems like there are some, you know, green shoots there, although Home Depot misses top and bottom. Still a nice move upside there for Home Depot, up now 4% on the day. So it's not just all these, you know, tech stocks that are bumping around. You also get a nice movement there.
Yeah, we get Toll Brothers after the bell.
Right, yeah.
Right, so the home builders are very much in play. And look, I still say it's, for Home Depot, a lot of it probably has to do with we're getting a rate cut, rates go lower, bump in the housing market. I think Berkshire certainly likes the housing market right now. They indicated that with their 13Fs, and you know, Home Depot stands to benefit from that trend. So if that's, I think it's more of a trend thing than the report itself, but it doesn't really matter. What I think, the market's going to do what it's going to do. Toll Brothers after the, oh, Apple. I was looking for something that set up when the market was at VWAP, and I was scanning through names. Apple was breaking the trend, but I just flipped to it, and it might already be heading into the volume-weighted average price. You need to get it up here, not down here. That doesn't even make any sense. But there's a few names that we haven't gotten to that have been pretty darn good. I know PANW, just to go over it, it's still not doing anything. It's still trending to the downside. But Novo, and we're going to go to Adara, Novo, a couple of points to the upside. It's not just Eli Lilly. Novo Nordisk also doing pretty well here, although back into the volume-weighted average price. We're going to go to Adara, but there's a small capper trying to break trend, open door, that I'm looking to get back into. We had 380 to 390, and then it stopped out 375. But if it can break the trend again, I'm taking another shot at open door. Above that 375 is the key, Adara.
Open door, admittedly not one on my list today, but let's talk about some other small caps. I couldn't find a ton of these really, really volatile movers, so some of the ones we're going to talk about are some past runners. There is one very strong small cap name we're going to talk about at the end of this list. Let's start here with the IWM. IWM definitely basing out a bit. I mentioned yesterday this pseudo double bottom around that 226 level. Then yesterday's session, we generally trend higher. Today, looking like we're poised to continue. So let's see if the IWM can continue to push to the upside, because right now, this 15-minute chart doesn't look too bad. Here is RZLV. Couldn't find any story in Resolve AI, but if you recognize this ticker, it might be because it's rallied quite a lot recently. It is a frequent runner, or repeat offender, as we sometimes call them, 12% short float. Then we have BINI, Bollinger Innovations. You might remember this ticker and company. This is actually what Mullen has become, formerly trading as MULN. I could not find any news here for BINI, but a 3.2 million share float. Last but not least, GXAI. This is, I think, by far the strongest runner that I'm seeing right now. The RZLV also looks pretty good. Gaxos AI on watch, announcing that the launch of their Art Gen AI video creation platform. So AI-related company with a catalyst. Great look here for GXAI. Trading around that $2 level right now, guys. Back to you.
Oh, Mullen. Mullen, whatever. Anytime Mullen, every time I look at a chart of that spike up in Mullen, I'm just like, oh my goodness, somebody just sits there and shorts every pop at the open on it. And it just eventually it's going to come right back down. What is, like, I try not to use words like a scam of a company, but at some point you dilute so much. Like, it's just, I try to be nice about it, but you can't. It's so bad. It's so bad. NEO just popped, finally breaks away from the $5 level. Stop was underneath VWAP, which is no longer going to be underneath VWAP. Now it's going to be underneath the break-even and the breakout price of 501. We'll see how far it can go. Just a reminder, if you haven't seen the daily chart, 420 has been a thing on the stock before. 520 is now a thing on the stock. Not any kind of an all-time high. NEO, look, NEO, if I zoom the chart back further, you'd see just how bad this is. I think it could be a swing long if it breaks out over here today, but the plan was to break out here to go into the resistance level, right? Like, that'll give you the 20-cent move, and you're risking about 5 pennies. So that's where I want to take it to. I think a breakout above the quarter, especially at this time of day, is asking a lot for a stock whose catalyst is probably that a competitor had a good number. Like, the only reason NEO could be up today, well, I don't know. I suppose it could have another reason, but XPeng reported they had a strong quarter. Sharif went over, so NEO up on sympathy, although it's up a higher percentage. I believe that to be a technical break here on NIO. So it didn't break yesterday. We waited for it today to finally go here on NIO.
Oh, sorry to interrupt really quickly before the ad. There actually was news on NEO today. I just looked it up. So apparently, this is reported by CNEV Post. They basically only do Chinese EV news. They said that the automaker has confirmed they lowered the price of one of their battery packs by 20,000 yuan, or roughly $2,780 US. That's the only story I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's not bad.
All right, you've seen Trade the Pool here with us now for a while, and now Trade the Pool has created something special just for you, a free ebook featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage risk, and the setups that they rely on, so you can learn and grow from what actually works. Please hit the QR code right now, download that, and figure out what those trading playbooks, the swing code, is all about. Look, I told you, this is what we do. There it is, man, 2650. Wrote it down on here as our levels for, actually, no, we didn't. We talked about it. We would actually want to stay away from Intel. It's funny because the name that I was not that excited about is the only name that I'm positive on right here. Well, we're positive on the futures as well, but that's position pending. But for right now, yeah, good out there, not on Intel as it takes out those levels and now just comes crashing right back in. We make the out and then it's 5, 10, 15 candles straight now to the downside. So bye-bye Intel. Good look there if anybody has it. Congratulations. And this is what I want to be about, man. I want to be about using, like I said, man, here to trade for you guys, using outs, using stops, and just talking real. Like, some trades aren't going to work out, and this one did not. So there goes Intel, and we actually highlighted also our Tesla trade down right there. Right? We're still comfortable with what it is, but yeah, the market today, not too kind on 2 of those trades. But hey, man, we battle right back, and now a big stock for me hopefully will be this TQQ trade as it's falling back in. There's some 77s. We really loaded this one up now, so pretty happy with it. We have 3 units. It is going to be our biggest position. But yeah, are we at a stopping point right now? Like, sometimes I get sort of stuck with, should we be scalping this, or should I'll just take some 76s, or letting some things run? So Yeah, I don't know. Some negative stuff today with Palantir, obviously with Tesla to the upside. That's been good. Apple's been holding bids as well. So not 100% sure if this market wants to completely collapse there. But with the downfall in the tech space, with Nvidia, with AMD, like both of these are downside. Palantir is downside. Some of the juice is loose on
Nvidia
some of
had
these
good
names.
news. It was good news on Nvidia.
Right, and the market's still heading south. Oh boy, here we go, man. This is a big one now. All right, now we're fine on the, well, we were fine before on the day, but now we're super fine as it's coming right back down in right now. 40-cent winner here on the futures, on the TQs. Let's see if it's going to go, and we'll work from there. But yeah, tough day so far. We're battling back, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm going to check in on the likes right now. 1.1K. Thank you so much for all of that. Let's get that going just a little bit more. 8,000 of you watching. If you haven't hit the like button, please do it. I told you your next trade would be profitable. Since we talked about that, we've got the TQQ trade right now. So that's a nice little profitable one for us. And if you hit the like button, you too will have a profitable trade. Most likely, it's about 50% chance. So let's go downside now on the market and get going there. Yeah, thank you for the Intel talk, man. Like I said, it's still going to be P&L number one, but at the end of the day, we did have that uptick on that. But we reverted back to what we do best, and that's trade the futures, I feel like. And there it goes. Yes, sir. Bang. That's that face slapper right now as we go short on the market, and it is collapsing. There we go. Finally, our net is where it belongs, Neil, as we get back into the realm of trading a little bit here. Nice move down, almost. Let's see if we can get a dollar club now on these futures. So far, so good here as we go short on the Nasdaq. Sometimes you just got to flip it up, man. Flip game strong around here. But AMD tanking 168.
Yikes. But that's what you got to do. You've got to find whatever the next opportunity is, man. I found myself like multiple times just flat today. Sometimes it's just how it is. Neil took out the high, but I told you I'm out in front of that 20. Once it spiked to the 20 mark, that was the plan of action. 5 to 520 on the daily chart. That's what it gives you. So ultimately, going station to stations worked out well today, with the exception of whatever. I mean, Tesla will be a disappointing one, but it's not because it was super bad. It's just because there was a really good chance to get back into the long. That said, even it looks like it's breaking the trend. So again, controlling your losses is how you can stay green. Like allow your winning trades to go enough and then have a good stop so that you can have 1 or 2 wins, be able to cover a couple losses, right? And that's the way I like to play it. But Tesla, disappointing. I would venture to say if this loses trend here, not a good look. It's one of the outliers in terms of strength. Apple was an outlier, is an outlier in terms of strength, bouncing off the volume weighted average price in here. But I had said the thing I was looking at next was not a New York stock, was Opendoor to break its downward trend. Even this, small cap name, squeeze type name, and it's still trending to the downside. This is the one I'm hunting for. When it can break this trend, then I go for the long. Gonna be really particular about it here because it's now 10:30, so don't want to turn red fighting the trend here on Opendoor, even though I think it can go even if the market does. It just has to break this trend line and then we can be into it for sure. One stock we didn't look at, I just saw in the chat, and nonsense, this is what you want to look for. The market's dropping, you say UNH is holding. That's a good sign. UNH is red on the day, but the market's at the low. It's not at the low. Back underneath, if Buffett's price is 312, then I guess he's out of the money, I suppose. But we'll see. It's consolidating up here. Remember, this stock couldn't break 320 to 328 last time, so the fact that it can consolidate here makes a bunch of sense. And if you think about like this area here, if Buffett's in at 312, that means he could have been the buy support while it was holding up for so long, and then it got released. So it's really key for it to be able to hold on to $300 again. I think maybe, and we've seen this before with Berkshire Hathaway, where they will get a position and then they'll start defending that price area. But there's no confirmation of that until we actually bounce down into maybe underneath 300 and see if we can't see some buyers. But I like the stock in general. I'm just not convinced that we know there's a buy support level where it was before that Berkshire Hathaway, and not the only one, Scion and what's his name, Michael Burry buying it as well. So there were some other people out there buying UNH on that little bit of a dip.
So we're kind of just enjoying this short right now. because it's a dollar club right now on the Nasdaq. So we're starting to really bleed here. Now down 1%. I think this could be one of those days where, like, I was trying to find, like, okay, where and how bad could this potentially get, right? I mean, that's 89 right there. There's been some support down there. We've now had basically 4, like yesterday it's going to show a green day, but it was just marginally. So we're now looking for a break or a hold, like in and around this area, $91, $90, something in and around there right now on the TQQs. So yeah, so far so good, but not great. There, we are expecting a little bit more of a move, but we did cover some more down on that play. So yeah, man, good here so far, waiting for a little bit more. Let's see if we can find some more trades for you. As Neil mentioned, we do have this great board that was built by Fabian. What's up, Fabian? Right here, and has Open Door on the top. I know Neil's been looking at some Open Door over the last little while, so that's going to be probably a trade that many of you may have there. We smoked Open Door yesterday. Open Door yesterday was PNL1, so that was good. But Nvidia, SoFi, no, that's not true. AMD was, my bad. But Open Door, AMD, Robinhood, Oscar Health, CoreWeave. Actually, that would be one to look at. Let's have a quick look at CoreWeave right there. And how you can get involved in this is by hitting $ into the chat, so $ whatever, and putting your symbol that you are interested in. Maybe we are getting a little bit of a bounce right here. I'm going to take a little bit more out on the TQs right now at 39, just in case that bounce is real. It looks like it's trying to go again, and we just sort of zoom back out just to see what that looks like, and it looks pretty good right here for a potential bounce. So I'm going to put another bid. How many shares do I have? Okay, let's get out of 10. Okay, there it goes. Let's get out of 10%. So that's what we do right there, as it looks like it's okay for us. Downside again on the TQs. We'll try to hold fort on that one, and then get a little shorter if it does bump back up. But yeah, Tesla, like we said, man, that was an embarrassing one for me today because, you know, made the bottom there, made the top on Intel. Oh wow, Intel is really, man. Congratulations to anybody that hammered that one. That was what a test there for Intel. Oscar Health, we're super proud of that, about this play. That's now Oscar, Big Bear AI, a couple of these plays that have really sort of helped grow the account for myself. I hope that you guys are involved in some of this. PANW also, we bought at 180. That's not that sexy there. We bought Eli Lilly on the way down at 639 or whatever that fill was that one day. Eli Lilly, what goes up must come down. Eli Lilly upside today, now back down. Novo Nordisk and Viking Therapeutics both with some news there about their GLPs. So that looks like Eli Lilly likes some of that as well as they catch some drift there. But yeah, SoFi was the one today. Yeah, SoFi was the tricky one for me today as well. SoFi we're okay on. You know, Palantir and SoFi we're fine on. We took bigger hits on AMD just because we had more shares, and Tesla was the biggest one, but SoFi we're fine on today, although that has had negative trajectory. What's up with Mitch on this one, as we all like SoFi, but I still think you could be in this name. Remember, everybody, Mitch included on that too, right? Like, we don't know people's time frames on what they're talking about, but for me, the shares that I trade, I cannot hold past break levels, so there goes SoFi to the downside. And the only trade that I'm working on right here, which is going to be one of the biggest positions taken today, is the futures. So we're just going to hold out hope that this can continue to fall down. But no surprise, we're kind of having a problem with past day's low right here at 91.35. So one more piece out here at 30s, and now we'll wait. So we got a 32 there. Now we'll wait for hopefully a downside play now on the TQQs. If we break the 50-period moving average, I'm out. That's 91.80. We'll get out of that one, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, man, that's the TQQs.
Yeah, absolutely. Another place that you can look for opportunities, which I know everybody is keen to do, is reliable charting, everybody. Now, obviously, most people are going to have their eyes and their view to the markets be through charts. Maybe you like the level 2. That's fine too as well. Get that level, get that buy and sell. You can look at the level 2 in the market depth to see where the big orders are with each signal, but you can also test out any technical strategies you might have with a good charting and reliable charting platform. It's an entitlement-based platform which allows you to pick and choose what you want to see and what you don't want to see, so you don't have to pay for everything. Oh, but by the way, you don't have to pay for the first month. So you can just try everything out for free for 1 month and then see what you like after the fact. If it works out for you, great. If not, then you just spend some time trying out a platform. And you can trade directly through multiple brokers. You have API access as well, so you can automate your trading. Scan the QR code you see out in front of you for that first month free over with eSignal and enhance your trading journey. It's a great platform in here. We were looking at Palo Alto earlier on higher time frames. I like to use eSignal when I'm bumping around. Used it on IPOs to see a 5-second chart. And that was pretty useful because I think what I learned with that was what the actual risk was on some of these level breaks on the IPOs when you look at a 2 or a 5-second chart. And then it allows you to risk properly for the next trade because you can understand the slippage. I did say the next trade was likely going to be, and I've jinxed it again, Open Door trying to break this all morning long trend. It just tagged the bottom. If it closed above the trend line, that is my next trade, barring something unforeseen somewhere else, which I'm not seeing anywhere. So I think it's going to be Open Door if it can break the trend line. I want something that's not going to necessarily fall apart when the market goes down here, ultimately. So Open Door, we did have it once. It tried to go, didn't go very far, but that was off a level at 375. It's been a good run for it, so I do feel it's due for a pullback day. I'm just looking for that bounce into VWAP, and it might be a short after that. But the next trade looks like it's catching a bid, and the break of this trend line on Open Door. Tesla just lost the bid big time. Oh, goodness, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla just lost VWAP, it lost everything. Could be retesting that 334. Don't want to catch a falling knife. I don't think you want to catch a falling knife here. I want something, if I'm going long, it's got to be a trend break. The same thing that kept safe in the morning, early at the open, is the same thing that I think will protect you in the afternoon, or at least during the lunchtime hours, by not trying to overtrade.
Who's doing it, me?
Oh, and there goes the bid. So look, if you can't hold the bid, then I'm not going to bother. That's the thing. It's not even holding that bid to break that trend line. When it's close, I got to stay with it because when it breaks this, like I'm trying to get in right away. But now that it's broken the low, I can kind of sit back and be a little bit more patient to try and snipe this one.
Okay. Yeah, just as a note, we are now more than $1 as the futures are now at their lows. The Nasdaq's really cranking. We're going to try to hold this, man. Our day is well in our pocket right now, so all is well on that one. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to cover anymore. The Nasdaq continues to fall back in. We don't have too many charts to look at. I was actually looking at an Oscar chart here, more of a higher time frame to see what was going on. But here's the TQs on the 20-minute. This is, again, eSignal charting. So here we go. We're coming right into that level that we just broke right now, 91. So if we go down to the downside there, 90 next target. Get something. I'm going to get one more. I keep saying I'm not going to get any out, but I'm going to take another piece. I can't. Like I have too many there, and I don't want to, let sometimes these trades get too carried away because they're trying to bottom pick exactly. We'll bid 85s right now and see if we do get a downside move. But you can, empowered women definitely change the world. Believe me, and you can help make this happen. The Woman Boss trains and mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. Since 2018, we've reached over 10,000 women and girls, and your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. Scan that QR code on your screen now and join us here at Trader TV Live in building a brighter future, of course, for women across the world. I think it's pretty much a fact that women are smarter than men. So the more you can donate, the better our world can become. All right, let's go back right now, I guess, is it over to the desk now, Andre?
I hear
Yes, it is. So there it goes. Let's go back over to the desk with Miss Adara.
I'm seeing potentially some news here. The Atlanta Fed GDP Now index actually falling here for, I believe this is the Q2 or Q3 estimate. So falling from 2.55 to 2.26%. Again, this is just the Atlanta Fed GDP Now estimate. This is not the GDP print, but interesting regardless. Atlanta Fed here with a lower than, I guess not lower than expected necessarily, but a drop here in their GDP Now index estimate. Also worth noting, apparently, U.S. copper firms are hiking prices even after the tariff response. So keep an eye on copper and keep an eye on this market because you can look here. Literally, it is about split in half in terms of the performance. I mentioned on the 15-minute chart that the Nasdaq actually looks markedly weaker on the mid to long term than the SPY, and you can really see this reflected in this sector board, right? Because look at the two sectors that are the weakest right now. It'll be the sectors that are very tech heavy, like tech services or electronic technology, AMD, Broadcom, Oracle, Netflix, Palantir, all sharply to the downside. Palantir down 7%. Then if you look at retail trade, the major Nasdaq name in here is really the only underperformer. That would be Amazon, whereas Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe, all to the upside, all actually reporting this week, or in Home Depot's case, they've already reported. Then we've got finance and watch here, mostly green, health technology, mostly green, consumer non-durables, green across the board with the exception of GE Vernova. Producer manufacturing, all green. Consumer services, strong. Utilities, transportation, etc. So the one area here that's the real blight in the market right now is going to be major tech. Back to you.
Although if you count IBM as major tech, then that is not a blight on the market. Up a point, that's some relative strength, no questions asked. Looks like this has found its bottom since reporting earnings. And just to throw it out there, it's also breaking a bit of a downward trend here in a consolidation like some IBM. Bought CRM instead of IBM, but I think they're both pretty good. Oh my goodness, you just made another fresh low there on Tesla. Tesla just gave up the entire move and then some. All right, 327. I guess we're on a collision course for the 327 level. That makes a heck of a lot of sense that you could get down into that price. It's profit taking galore overall in the market. If our good friend, or at least my good friend over there at Open Door, can't make a move, I'm going right back to NIO. As it pulls back, can it hold on to VWAP, right? Like it broke out that $5 level we're looking for, went pretty clean. Now it's trying to pull back into the volume weighted average price at 505. So let it drip, let it fall down in, be dragged down by the rest of the market. We had XPeng with good numbers. Let's see how that's doing in comparison. Right, it made a bounce and is pulling back. So at least they're going in concert, counter trend to the US market here, which is good. Like, I don't want to be longing something that isn't a perfect setup or that has a decent chance to be able to rally even if we continue lower here as the Q is looking nasty. And my goodness, Palantir really at 161. The other story, crypto, Bitcoin lost 115. It's now breaking 114,000. Ethereum also pulling back here. More or less everything is catching some strays left, right, and center. If Palantir gets to 10% down, just particularly a stock like a Palantir, that'll be at about $157. Were it to get to 157, that is a buy. That's a buy level for sure. I just always look for that SSR bounce on a really large name, especially when you have the market sort of in, it's not cascade, but in a move like this to said downside. Yeah, just incredibly nasty. I got out of BMNR too soon. And I told you what was happening with crypto. But the way I saw it is I had missed the move on BMNR, and I was just trying to catch like a little bit of a scalp trade, and it continues to fall along with Ethereum. This is what happens when the market gets a little bit toppy. When you reject a high, you can have sellers over and over and over again. And let me just show you. I'm going to show you Bitcoin.
Wow.
As this is now losing said bid to the downside. Yikes. Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of crypto, pretty much anything adjacent, all of those plays looking relatively nasty.
Man, it's whack city right now, guys. The future is getting whacked down to the downside right now. And you can see we've got it on right now at $1.50 now in the money. As I say, what's up to the caterer? Bring him over here, show him what's going on, and very impressed. Yo! Joseph is back in the building, so let's go, man. We're bringing the heat every day as Joseph is back in the building, man. We're going to get the midday show is back to where it is, where it all began with Joe and Sharif. Of course, it began many, many years ago, but we are back home now with Joe and Sharif, so we're really happy with that one. We're happy with this TQQ trade. I mean, guys, we were shorting the Nasdaq at zeros. You're now down 1%, so this is a big one. Thank you so much to everybody that's here in the chat again with us right now. We got to give a big shout out to all of you. Thank you for continued support on the show. You know, we'll make some losing trades, we'll make some winning trades, but right now, so if you add it up, man. I made more money right now on the TQs than we lost on Tesla as an individual trade. Wow, there goes Tesla right back down again. So now I don't feel so bad. Thankfully, I do not have the low tick of the day on Tesla right now, but this one I'm not happy about. High tick of the day on Intel, but we make it all back in spades right now with this futures trade. So couldn't be happier with this. We're gonna hit the gym up, come back and see where this market is right now when we get back here. But yeah, huge downside play now in the market. Traders, what's up? Love you guys. Down 7% now is Palantir. Oh boy, to have reversed that short would have been really good. Fortunately, we picked on the futures, so we're there on that one right now. But Palantir continues to get cranked down into 160 and change. Your boy's a buyer at the 50 period. We talked about that one. Let's use some of our BBAI, our Oscar, our PANW. Let's use some of this money to pick up Palantir. Then hopefully that doesn't hurt us after that. We'll do some more work on that on the midday show. But yeah, man, thank you to everybody watching again today. We're really proud of the show that we're continuously able to put on for you. So again, thank you so much. I just got into Palantir by accident, so I'm gonna have to get out of that one. But yeah, good show so far. Again, thanks for the support, guys. We'll just continue to do what we're doing best on here. Hopefully entertain, educate, and inform you about everything.
The 3 eyes.
Yeah, man.
Well, even though they're not eyes. Oh, like, it's an inside joke.
Educate,
it's an inside joke because
because inform is not an I.
No, and we had someone around here who coined that, so we'll say it, and maybe you guys don't get it, but we do appreciate every super chat that we get, and sometimes it's not even a message. Baz, we'll take it. Appreciate you so much, and thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can always tag us like by name. So if you put in like I'm Neil, so just put at NEAL, and then I'll be highlighted there. It doesn't always have to be super chat, but we do appreciate it. Is the market down because of the Powell meeting after? No, I don't necessarily think Jackson Hole is the reason why we're going to be down. Could we hear some things out of that we don't like? That's entirely possible. I think just sometimes the market gets a little toppy and everyone's talking about it, and then we get reversal days like this, and when it starts to cascade, it's just sellers and trailing stops and that kind of thing at market highs. The ES is down 0.2. The Nasdaq is down 0.9. It's really tech that's getting wrecked by the most, but the S&P 500 is down 0.2%. So it's really not like that bad. I'm now into open door. I said the conditions. It's just on a 3-minute chart. This one's trending down. It has squeeze potential. It has the ability to bounce without the market because it is a highly shorted name. So it broke the trend line and then broke the prior high off the trend line. We grabbed the long. We'll play it into the volume weighted average price. It's trying to be, at this time of day, like particular about the entries, make sure that we don't throw away profits from this morning. Nvidia looking nasty. Tesla looking incredibly nasty as well. But Bitcoin holding under 114. Now 113.7, as we showed. ETH also pulling back pretty heavily. Haven't looked across the board. I really only look at those two. I don't really look at a lot of the smaller coins or the altcoins out there. But this is a wide sell-off. Pretty much everything is getting taken back. That's why you think it's like risk off. Anything correlated to the Qs is getting beaten up the most. I'm not even sure how energy is doing. Haven't really looked at that overall. But something's holding the S&P up pretty well, and I haven't been able to find anything obvious.
Yeah, the Nasdaq's going down so much we should have shorted the Nasdaq. Today, let's go figure out what is for lunch. As I said, I just ran into my guy over there, Mohammed. Okay. All right, August the 19th in today. All right, I read this wrong the last time, but today we've got the date right. It's August 19th. Last time it was a Thursday. It was a Wednesday, and I thought it was a Thursday, taking too much time off. Right now, beef bolognese. So I know that's not a huge favorite for everybody. Seasoned vegetables and chef's choice salad. So we'll see how the beef bolognese goes through. Neil's gonna love it. I saw a big ass bowl of kale back there. So Neil can just go with that one. Neil can get his kale on right there. So that should be good to go right there. So you're gonna have a good kale day, Neil, coming through right there. I told the guy I hate kale, but he goes, I don't blame you, but to each their own. Neil likes kale, as does Adara. But our salads generally are just that
Yeah, it's
like
like-
iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
With a
There'll be
little
like
bit
a few
of
leaves of kale in there.
mixed in there.
They're not very good.
Time to trade Rigetti because of mom's spaghetti. Yeah, we got some bolognese today, as we just mentioned there. So Rigetti down down to $16. Wow, yeah, actually down 5%. Look, man, what goes up must come down. We talked about the euphoria in the Nasdaq, and euphoria wasn't Sydney Sweeney, was it?
Yes.
All right, Joe knows about Euphoria right there. My wife didn't let me watch the show. I wonder why, but so we didn't watch that, but she did and she loved it. All right, the Nasdaq still going lower, guys. Thanks again, man. As you can tell, we're always having fun around here, putting on some trades for you, entertaining. This is the way of Trader TV Live. We do also have again Adara at the big desk, I believe, for Money Talks. Let's go check in on those dollars.
Here is the U.S. dollar. It's the 5-minute chart. I'll switch to the daily to get some more context. And as I mentioned, we're really stuck within a range here with the U.S. dollars. There's nothing new to see here. We're base up around that 97.6, top around 98.2, 98.3. Later this week, we will get comments from Fed Chair Powell, but today, we really only have comments from Fed's Bowman, though she does speak twice. She already spoke at 10 a.m. in this Bloomberg News interview. Then she'll speak again at 2:10 p.m. So I do want to mention as well with Bowman. She said something today during the Bloomberg interview. Basically, she said that she's happy with her current position. So that maybe implies that she either is not as much in the running for the Fed chair position, or she is, maybe doesn't want the Fed chair position. For context here, the other individuals, as per a CNBC report, that could be up for the Fed chair spot. Let's see who ends up getting chosen, but it does seem like the two Kevins, Kevin Hassett and Kevin Warsh, still have some of the higher odds, as well as current Fed Governor Christopher Waller. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
No, like when I hear him speaking, it sounds like this.
Yeah.
All right, so I just told Fabian that we are having a little bit of audio problems. You know what's a problem when Sharif's like not sure if it's Ramin in his ear or not. So that's how we know.
Because you really want to
be able to
tell the difference.
Right. Unless Sharif's saying that Ramin has a manly voice. I mean, that's up to Sharif. No.
I'll take the female voice.
Oh, for sure. All right, so we'll get that worked on. And again, thank you so much. And if you're looking behind us, you can see, I mean, this is what we're doing today. Studio 8 getting renovated, and all for the better, right? As we continue to improve, the experience for all of you. We're building like a huge video wall. It's going to be really exciting to see everything that sort of goes through. We're all excited to see the final product as well, as we hope that you guys are, because, it's going to be momentarily, and we want to thank everybody. There's been, various hammers, various drilling happening in the background.
Some things getting dropped
ripping,
every now and then.
Some cutting.
Some nice padding
dropping.
to protect our heads from the scaffolding or whatever.
Yes, so when we go like that, we don't get
it's not really scaffolding,
knocked unconscious.
I have no idea. Hey, we got a super chat from David here that I missed.
David.
Sorry, David. Super chats, appreciate you all. Jackson Hole, heck of a technical mountain to snowboard and ski, apropos. Yeah, why not? I don't know if they have that kind of fun out there in Wyoming. My guess is Jerome is not doing that. He's supposed to be at work. He's supposed to be discussing the future fate of where rates are going to go. But everyone deserves to have a little bit of fun. No questions asked. About 5 minutes to go, everybody. I was double checking in on the visualizer here. Tesla number one now. I'll full screen it for you. Tesla number one makes sense. I mean, the round trip on Tesla is insane. Yeah. NEO, that was a good breakout trade. XPeng had news. They reported it was strong. AMD in here. Open Door, which did the reversion, so we're in that one now. Palantir. Corey, of all names we've discussed, Oscar has been discussed. GXAI, I don't think we discussed that. TNA we did. Of course, the 3X small capper. UNH in there, Nvidia, Very. It's really just GXAI is the only one I believe that we haven't covered. But I'm 99% sure, not 100% because you don't want to speak in absolute certainties, but if it's up 80% and it's $2 and it's above VWAP and it broke out the pre-market highs, then it should be on Sharif's radar, because those are all rules of Sharif's. And this, oh, he's in it. So there you go. Yeah, those are his rules. GXAI will get covered on the midday show because Sharif just said he is in that stock. Technically speaking, Open Door is not a small cap because it's over a $2 billion market cap. So I looked up yesterday. I had to look it up. I thought it was a small cap or two. I guess it was, and it's close enough that you can consider in that group. But even though it broke the trend, cannot get to the volume-weighted average price. I was holding on to half for there, but it couldn't go. It lost 375, which was my key level. When it failed 375, I took some more out at 370. We're in at 64. As long as it was 64, 65, that's the entry. And then prior bar stop was 58. Now my stop is at break even. So it'll be either a break even trade or it's going to get to the volume weighted average price. When the market's tanking, just look for some kind of a trend break or a sniper to get back in. The other place I was looking was NEO, I should say, that was on actually number 2 now on that list. It doesn't seem to even want to fall back into VWAP. Just a clean break away from the $5 level, and it hasn't really pulled back for us to get into the volume weighted average price. The story, of course, were impressive numbers by XPeng. That's up 4%, not doing a heck of a lot either. The Chinese ADRs tend to fall asleep a little bit at lunch. So, whatever they moved in the morning, don't expect them to move that much. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that. As much in the afternoon. They can still move. I just don't usually expect them to move more than whatever the opening push was there. I see in the chat AMD long.
Oh, maybe.
Is that catching a bid yet?
I was thinking the market's trying to catch a bid now.
I'd be Nvidia before AMD, though. Nvidia
we've just bled.
had good news.
Yeah. I mean, I like, we always talk about which one versus the other one, and I'm with you. I think AMD is the safer play for the short, and Nvidia maybe for the long these days. But so we started feeling the same kind of ways right now. So we got out each about 5 to 10% of our position each minute for the last 5 minutes on any moves down. So we did not paying the tops. We're paying good prices. So we just got 75s, which I guess was a temporary top. We did rip up into 85.90 there. So see on this little drip down, let's get out of another 3%. If we could do that, we're bidding 65s. There it is. So we get that fill now on the downswing. So yeah, I like that trade. Just trying to piece some off here as we make some new lows in the market right there in the last 10 minutes. We'll see if we can continue to hold those lows and get a little bit lower. Man, it's been a day, that's for sure, here again. And, names to buy on dips, man. I mean, I think Google's a name that you want to buy, stick in that portfolio for as long as you want, really, for Google. I think that we can buy some strength buy on weakness, but into potential strength for Google. The AI race is nowhere near over. These guys will lead and are in that space as well, with quantum computing as well, AI. I like Google for some of these dip buy opportunities. We talked about Palantir. Palantir just really, the minute I heard that Andrew left Citron report, it was sort of flashing in and around these areas of 184, 185 for a while. And in the last 4 or 5 days, we've really given it up in Palantir. So you guys know my affinity for that stock, but we will be buying some dips in that. But our cost base is so low, but it doesn't really matter where you're coming from, it's where you're going. So we could always make mistakes and buy too high and screw up our average price. But Palo Alto, we're kind of just on the story here. Sharif's going to go over some stories on the midday as well, obviously, as they do a great job of that. But 185, we gave that level to you earlier on in the day, and right now 185 is a smoke show. You just keep going short there, you're really printing on 185 right now. But there it goes, yes sir. We did it again, man. There it goes, a nice little hold for this trade as the futures are coming right back in, and what we did again was make a new low of day. So there goes the futures right now, new low of day now as it's 10:59, man. We'll hit the elliptical, we'll have a good time at lunch, we'll come back, we'll see what's on our salad. What's up, Ramin, over there running around as everybody right now is doing their best to get this show on the road as far as the studio going. But there it goes, man. I feel like this, P&L wise, whatever, we like I said, we made more on this one than we had lost on Nvidia and Tesla as individual trades. So we just need one more. We need one more banger to get our day back in check. But again, thanks for everybody. Neil, we had over 1,500 likes here today, and that's a lie because we only have 1,300. So, 7,000 of you watching, hit the like button if you can, get that up a little bit. But wow, the futures are really tanking, man. This trade is now a $1 and a $2 winner. So I don't know what you're working with, but that's what we've got on over here. Anything open door? Well,
Open's a good snipe, but like everything else, if the market falls, it's going to drop as well. Remember, I said if it loses 375, that's my key price, and try and get out. I'll be 1 for 2 on open, and I'll stay green on it, but 1 for 2 without either one of them following through. Like this trade is supposed to get me. This one's 4 and this one to VWAP. So it goes halfway at the end of the day. But profitable morning so far. We'll see what happens in the afternoon during lunchtime. I do still like some NIO, and we're going to go to the midday. So right now I'm looking at NEO off the volume weighted average price. That's at least something which is still holding trend to the upside. And I don't know. I'm not sure about BMNR. That's one that, as long as crypto stays weak, specifically ETH, then that's a name that I favor the short trade on. We did have it once. There hasn't been any kind of a real pop to get back into VWAP, which is generally where I like to be on a trend line. But we know at least one name that the professor is in, but we also have a return from Chi-Town, apparently the south side. He said Chirac. We know he did not go to Chirac, and that's Joey Options, the return of the duo. Have fun on the elliptical. I don't know if you try like the rowing machine ever. I don't know.
I can't because my knee. I can't do the.
I was going to say because I like the roll, but if you can't,
yeah.
But go get him.
Huge move in the Nasdaq.
Huge
move.
And you guys go to the midday.